You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
This is a way for community grief to happen. Like 34,000 people have died.
A pro-Palestinian rally is ramping up across the mid-state. The goal for students and protesters, as they're hoping to achieve some type of compromise in the Middle East battle between Israel and Hamas. Plus, Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell filed his very first budget for consideration by the Metro Council. We're going to take a look at the $3.2 billion plan and what the mayor is promising for the future of the city.
Yesterday was hot, today just as hot, but this time around might actually break a temperature record for this date. We'll take a look at that and incoming storms tonight.
Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. I am Justin McFarland. It is a Thursday morning, May the 2nd. We're going to begin this morning with news out of Baltimore, Maryland. That's where authorities now have recovered the body of a fifth victim after the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed. Now, the victim was a construction worker there on the site. According to the release that we've gotten, investigators recovered the body from inside of a red truck in the river. The Key Bridge collapsed back in March after a cargo ship slammed into the bridge. Well, we do have an update this morning, as an endangered child alert for a missing boy out of Antioch has now been canceled. The TBI is reporting that the child has been found safe and sound in Florida. The mother is in custody this morning. So far, investigators say this is all because of an ongoing custody issue. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell has filed his very first budget proposal with the Metro Council. It's a $3.27 billion budget that focuses in on some of the mayor's biggest promises from his campaign, including $30 million for affordable housing. Now, the budget also includes 3.5% cost of living increase for Metro workers and an $18 million investment for textbooks for Metro schools. For a complete breakdown of the budget, you can go to our website, fox17.com, and search O'Connell budget. Stay with us in our 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock hours. We're going to be hearing directly from the mayor as he talks about what he wants to do with $3.2 billion.
4:02, taking a look at your forecast. What is new this morning? The question we always answer to make sure we know we're all on the same page heading through the day. Near record highs. Yesterday was very warm. We were in the upper 80s. Today, we'll be in the upper 80s again, but the record high temperature always depends day to day on the calendar. It's 90 degrees for today, May 2nd. That was set back in 1901. Been a long time, and we might get there. It's going to be a race between the heat and incoming cloud cover. And we'll look at that on future track. Rain returns late tonight, and then that starts an unsettled pattern. Ever been in traffic and you go to that railroad crossing, and the cars in the railroad crossing are going so slowly, the train itself, that you're sitting there going, where's the end of this thing? That's what the next 4 days are going to be. Not raining every hour, but a nuisance to our weekend upcoming. 64 degrees right now in Nashville. We are crystal clear. Our temperatures will stay in the 50s and 60s. Very similar territory to yesterday for most of us. A few degrees warmer, but not noticeably different, which is a good start. That means that nothing catches you off guard. It's an easy way to start a day. Nothing happening anywhere near us just yet, but look off to the left side of the screen. There's that blue line there, cold front moving in. That'll cool us into the weekend. That will also bring us that chance for that unsettled pattern. Here's what we go. Here's what we go with here for the school day forecast. 67 degrees at first bell, 88 degrees after school. Any after school sports today. It is going to be hot. We need extra hydration, maybe an extra break or so. Now, this is typical summer weather for us here, upper 80s, near 90, but this early in the season, don't let it catch you off guard.
Steer clear traffic out there for you at 404. A quick look here at I-24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway in Antioch. Traffic out there moving along pretty well. No big problems in either direction so far as you get out on the roads. But we've got you covered. Yesterday was a mess out there on the roads. We'll see what today brings with Steer Clear Traffic live through 9. President Joe Biden plans to meet with the families of 4 law enforcement officers who were killed in North Carolina this week. He's also planning to meet with the officers wounded in that shooting as well. That's scheduled to happen later today. This comes after multiple officers were attempting to serve a warrant for the possession of a firearm, by a convicted felon. In total, 8 law enforcement officers were shot. The 4 who survived are still recovering from their injuries. Well, they are still on the hunt for a suspect of something that happened back in March. Crime Stoppers is now asking for your help identifying the person who they say burned Bibles in front of a church. Again, this happened in Wilson County back in March. You can see here the leftovers of the charred Bibles. They were destroyed outside of the Global Vision Bible Church. That's on Old Lebanon Dirt Road. The pastor told Fox 17 News that a man set the trailer on fire and then took off in a truck. We spoke with neighbors who live in the neighborhood.
A fire truck was parked right across the road, and I could see a big flame just on the other side of the fire truck, but I could not see what was burning.
The investigation is ongoing. There's no word on whether or not this case is going to be considered a hate crime. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Wilson County Sheriff's Office. Well, you can help your community stay in the know. If you want Fox 17 News to investigate something that's going on in your particular neighborhood, you can send us your tips. You can also follow us on all of our social media sites. And don't forget to sign up to receive our daily newsletter and other updates. You can do all that by going to our website, fox17.com.
We are going to continue to seek justice for Austin until we have it, because he deserves it. And so does anybody else who's been put in a similar situation.
The family of a man who died after an altercation with a bouncer at a Music Row bar continues to push for justice. We've got to look at the brand new surveillance footage and why the family says they're continuing to call for change. Plus terrifying moments in Wisconsin. This is new information.
Follow-up investigation battling electric vehicle fires.
Thursday on Fox 17 News at 9.
.09 is the time, and we've got new information this morning after a gunman tried to make their way into a Wisconsin middle school. This happened Wednesday afternoon. Investigators say that the suspect was a student. Because of the police, quick response by the police, the potential threat never actually made it into the building. No one else got hurt. The investigation is now ongoing.
You're not letting students in based on their ethnicity.
Well, happening right now, there are continued tensions that are now at an all-time high on college campuses across the country. Right here in Nashville, dozens of pro-Palestinian protesters held a rally and then they marched. It was announced on social media by the Palestine Hurrah Collective. That is a Nashville-based advocacy group. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joins us live this morning as students and workers say their main goal was to come together in solidarity.
Good morning. Supporters of Palestine marched from Centennial Park and ended up behind me at Vanderbilt's campus. Hundreds gathering for the rally, including students and workers who were asking for the so-called genocide to stop. They waved flags, played drums, and they even held signs holding pictures of those who were injured in the war. A protester told Fox 17 News, as you mentioned, that the group was named Palestine Hurrah Collective. They asked for divestment from companies and institutions that support Israel and the war in Gaza, placing themselves at risk for arrest and even expulsion, like we have seen across the country. Protester Sudep tells us why he came.
So the goal of this evening is really to show solidarity between community groups as well as student groups in sort of demanding an end to the genocide happening in Palestine right now.
Unlike some protests we've seen nationwide, this one ended peacefully, which was the hope of the Jewish Federation of Greater Nashville. This pro-Israel group believes students need to be better informed before heading out to rally.
We value the right to protest, but also these are educational institutions, and I think many of them are missing a really important educational opportunity, which is to help contextualize and educate these students.
Pro-Israel groups back the government's and institutions' support of Israel after the terrorist group Hamas led the first attack. This pro-Palestinian group we just saw here in Nashville held a sign that said that their outcry will continue until May the 7th. We're working to confirm that. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, Fox 17 has been keeping track of all of this since the protest began. You can look for all of our coverage on our website, fox17.com, and search pro-Palestine.
Coming up in your forecast, we're going to go for record heat today and then quickly flip the bill back to thunderstorms. How many days in a row will be on the stormy side?
Plus, we're following the very latest with your steer clear traffic on I-40 at Dallas and Pike. So far, so good. From the east side, we'll continue to watch things for you.
It's true for banking.
Play Mother's Day Mania for a chance to win a $100 prepaid debit card. Watch Fox 17 this morning and look for the QR code to enter. Get the question right and you could win. Complete contest rules at fox17.com.
Nothing can ever bring him back. And there's no thing that could ever happen that will truly be justified. But what we can do is we can help prevent future occurrences like this from happening.
In Operation Crime and Justice, an aggravated assault charge against a security guard at a Midtown bar is now in the hands of a grand jury. So let's take you there. It all happened back on February the 18th inside the tin roof on Demumbrian Street. In court, the victim's family got to see surveillance video of that incident for the very first time. A Metro Police report says that 26-year-old Austin Turner was asked to leave the bar. He came back and got into a fight with the security guard, Richard Cornelius. You see him there. Police say that led to Cornelius pushing Turner out of the bar and then hitting him from behind. Turner fell and hit his head. He then died a few days later.
We were not ever going to talk to him again. We never got to verbally speak with him again. He never opened his eyes again for us after that moment. It's tough.
The security guard in this case, Mr. Richard Cornelius, says that Turner ripped his shirt and hurt his leg in the scuffle they had, so he's claiming self-defense. The grand jury will determine whether or not this case goes to trial. Well, we are taking a look at the House passed legislation on Wednesday that is meant to crack down on anti-Semitism on college campuses. Now, the vote comes as college protests have crippled some campuses across the country. Fox 17 News' Matt Galka has the very latest on the crackdown before the tensions boiled over.
Columbia University was a virtual ghost town Wednesday morning after nearly 2 weeks of protests that crippled the school with chaos. The NYPD moved in on anti-Israel protesters occupying a university building overnight. Video shows officers in riot gear clearing Hamilton Hall. More protesters clashed with police at City College about a mile away in New York. The NYPD took down a Palestinian flag and restored the American flag to a campus flagpole there. Around 300 people were arrested between the two incidents. The mayor says the protests were taken over by outside agitators.
There were those who were never concerned about free speech. They were concerned about chaos. It was about external actors hijacking peaceful protests.
More clashes on the West Coast. UCLA called for police after pro-Israel counter-protesters confronted the school's pro-Palestinian encampment. And at the University of Wisconsin Wednesday morning, police dismantled the encampment after protesters were warned they were in violation of school code. On Capitol Hill, Republican senators railing on the Democratic response to the protests.
It just goes to show you that even old people can suck.
Louisiana Republican Senator John Kennedy arguing the president could have stopped the demonstrations if he wanted to.
President Biden is scared to death to alienate the Hamas wing of the Democratic Party.
Democratic leadership in the Senate didn't address the campus crackdowns directly.
I have made my views clear. There's no place for violence or anti-Semitism.
Some House Republicans toured an encampment at George Washington University in D.C. on Wednesday and plan to hold a hearing next week investigating reports that D.C. police refused to help clear protesters from campus. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Galka.
4:18 is the time. Let's check in with your forecast. We could be looking at a record high today. We're talking about something close to 90.
90 degrees. It'll be the first time in over 120 years we hit it on May 2nd.
Good grief.
It's been a long time. Yesterday was not that much better, but today could be breaking a record. And then as soon as we do it, just like that, we're going to snap our fingers and go right back to on and off thunderstorms tonight into tomorrow. So a lot of moving parts here, quite literally, getting us into the upcoming weekend. Right now, we're holding on to 60 degrees and off to the west. Still a lot of warm air moving in our directions. Today is not going to be anything to worry about. Future Track will confirm that for you. It's rolling through. It will go 6 o'clock, and then in late afternoon toward the evening, a few clouds pulling from south to north, but nothing to worry about here. The one thing the clouds could do to get here an hour or two earlier is keep us from hitting that 90-degree mark. So if you're looking outside around 3 p.m. and you've got no cloud cover, we'll start checking on that temperature and see what the thermometer's saying, because that's a good bet. We could hit 90. Taking a look overnight, here's midnight. We begin to see things pop up here, I would say about an hour or two before midnight in our western counties, and right near midnight in the Nashville area. You can see the lighter greens indicating it's not thunderstorm activity at this point, just some showers, some decent rainfall, and then clusters of weak thunderstorms take us into tomorrow morning. When you're waking up with us tomorrow at this time, I'll be tracking active radar showers and storms, not things moving into the future, because this pattern is going to just move very slowly. Imagine you're in the left lane of the highway and everyone else in the right lane's going faster than you because you're just stuck behind that person in front of you. That's our weather pattern. It's chugging along slowly, and it's going to continue to give us more of these isolated showers and storms throughout the day on your Friday. Even the evening hours will continue with those. Keep that in mind. We'll get a little break Friday night into early Saturday morning, and then another round will move in. We're talking about the Preds, though. There are so many things happening across Middle Tennessee, and especially even just Nashville downtown this weekend. Be mindful of that. It's going to be busy. We have the playoff Preds taking the ice at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Forecast will be 82, and again, dodging a few showers and storms outside. Thankfully, of course, obviously, inside will be great, but getting to the game and even just hanging out around downtown near Bridgestone, you might be dodging some showers and storms here and there. No indicators of severe weather, but definitely very active heading into the weekend.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's take a quick look here at I-40 at Dallas and Pike over there next to the airport. We're doing okay there this morning so far. No big problems over there as we speak, but of course things are always subject to change, and they will, and we've got you covered with steer clear traffic. We will be giving you an update on other sides of town coming up here a little bit later in the morning. Well, with the day off from court, former President Donald Trump returned to the campaign trail with events in Wisconsin and in Michigan on yesterday.
As you know, we'll be holding our convention in Milwaukee just a few months from now. And we can't wait. That means you got to vote for us because we're spending our money in your state.
Mr. Trump will be making another campaign stop later today. Then he must be back in court coming up in New York on today and on Friday as well. The former president is facing 34 counts of falsifying business records stemming from a hush money payment to an adult film star before the 2016 election. Well, taking a stand, the college protest on campuses were not the only ones making headlines on that May the 1st. On yesterday, we're going to have an update on the higher wage and work protection in the workforce. That's coming up next. Plus, tracking a major privacy breach. Looking ahead, we're going to take a look at your personal...
Raccoon. Attack.
Bark.
Attack. It's not easy taking out the trash. That's why you need strength that's anything but ordinary. Hefty, hefty, hefty.
Yesterday was May the 1st. A lot of people call it May Day, and it proved to be a very eventful day across the nation. Not only were there protests happening across college campuses, but rideshare and delivery drivers also took to the street as well. Now, this comes as people are pushing for higher wages and job protection. Drivers from Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Amazon Flex, and other app companies are saying that they are struggling to keep up with the cost of living. This is also the case for mail carriers in Baltimore. That is where they rallied outside of the post office for better protection. Now, about a dozen workers rallied outside of the post office there, holding signs that read, "Enough is enough," and "Protect our letter carriers."
Well, with letter carriers, what's happening throughout the country and in Baltimore City and the entire metro area, letter carriers are being robbed and assaulted. it's happening too frequently, and we're trying to bring public awareness to it.
Now, the group hopes the Protect Our Litter Carriers Act of 2024 will provide some of the much needed protection and help they're looking for.
4:25, and now we're talking about heat for today and then a completely different pattern for the weekend. Let's talk Saturday and Sunday and our thoughts getting closer and honing those in. Not a washout, but isolated storms periodically throughout your Saturday and your Sunday. It will not be as warm as today. Today, upper 80s to near 90 will be at 81 degrees on Saturday, 85 on Sunday. Morning temps, upper 50s to right near 60. It is not raining every hour of the day. We have many hours worth of dry time for both days of our weekend, but those pop-up storms will be there. We'll have some thunder and lightning occasionally and some decent downpours, and they're going to be very much so kind of throwing a dart at the dartboard and hoping you hit your spot, or that it doesn't get to where you're at. What's going to help you out? The Fox 17 Code Red Weather app. 'Cause a lot of us are going to have plans this weekend that we don't want to cancel. So how do you make sure you're getting inside, back outside? That could be the name of the game. You can always follow along with the Code Red Weather app by scanning that QR code. You'll have Doppler radar with you no matter where you're at. And hopefully, if you see any dark clouds moving closer to you, that app will help you get inside before the rain arrives and get you back outside to enjoy those dry hours.
Thank you, Greg. 427 in your community this morning. A local non-for-profit needs your help saving lives. Coordinators at Blood Assurance say they are in urgent need of blood and plasma donations. They say now is a great time to give again for those who haven't donated blood in a while. To be eligible to donate blood or plasma, you must be at least 17 years old. If you'd like to donate, the information is right there on your screen. Blood Assurance is a Tennessee-based non-for-profit serving hospitals in both Middle Tennessee and Eastern Tennessee as well. Well, a Kentucky man right here is paying the heavy price for a bad decision that he made on a Tennessee lake. We're going to tell you who else paid for that decision up next. Plus a live look this morning from UCLA. This is where clashes between pro-Palestinian protesters and police are still raging on across.
Hard. Hiring Morgan & Morgan for your injury is easy.
I think we're going to have to go back to our silent sessions.
Morgan & Morgan. The choice is easy.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Several pro-Palestinian groups marched and rallied in Nashville yesterday, joining thousands nationwide in their ask to stop the so-called genocide. I'll have the details coming up.
Our forecast filled with heat this afternoon, but we are not done with showers and storms this week, and the weekend looking a little more active. We'll time it out for you in your Code Red forecast.
And steer clear traffic takes us to I-40 at Fesser's Lane, just east of downtown, looking pretty good over there. We're going to take a look at the traffic happening in other parts of the mid-state straight ahead. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, just after 4:30 here on your Thursday, and I'm Justin McFarland. We are continuing to follow some breaking news as a third of Americans may have had their personal data stolen. This is in February's ransomware attack on the United Health Group. Now, this revelation comes from the CEO of United Health. In the hours of testimony before the House and Senate on Wednesday, Andrew Whitty apologized to patients and doctors. Whitty also confirms that he authorized a $22 million ransom payment to the hackers. This has many of the nation's leaders asking how something like this could happen. That includes Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn.
Your revenues are bigger than some countries' GDP. And how in heaven's name did you not have the necessary redundancies so that you did not experience this attack and find yourself so vulnerable?
Experts consider this to be the most significant cyber attack on healthcare in American history.
Looking at the forecast here, yesterday was hot. Today will be just as hot. Yesterday wasn't necessarily record-breaking kind of heat. Today will be. Each day on the calendar has its own temperature that was the hottest it's been on that date. For today, May 2nd, it's 90 degrees. That happened over 120 years ago. We might hit that later today. We're chasing that record here. And it would be our first 90-degree day of the year. And there's a popcorn pattern. Yeah, you know, the little kernels that pop up in the microwave real quick, and then there they are. They're little small ones. That's how our showers and storms are going to be throughout the entire weekend. We're talking basically tonight into tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We're not going to move the arrow for code red. I gave it the vacation. We're going to keep it there, right where it's at. Doesn't need to do any work here. We have no severe weather. We have no dangerous heat, just going to be hot, then going to be active, and back to using the umbrella on and off. So that's what we're tracking here when it comes to the next 72 hours. We're looking at a temperature right now of 64. Comfortable, warmer than yesterday morning at this time for sure across the board. What would it mean if we did hit 89 today? Well, we wouldn't hit the record, but if we hit 90, it would, again, tie back in 1901. And if you're brand new to the area and you weren't here in 2019, listen up. We can get a lot of 90-degree days, especially in recent memory. We had 99 of them that hit 90 or above back in 2019. So if we're already getting one here in early May, not saying it's a sign of things to come, but it gives you an idea. So as kids are going to the bus stop, we don't need rain gear today or after school, just hydration, sunscreen, and we should be good to go here on a Thursday.
Steer clear traffic for you here at 433. Quick look at I-40 at Fesser's Lane. It's just east of downtown. Moving along here pretty well. No big problems in either direction so far this morning. We are problem-free out there on the interstates and have been problem-free. According to the information we've received since around 11 o'clock last night, there hasn't been anything going on. We've been good. Hopefully it'll hold up that way. We'll see with Steer Clear Traffic live through 9. A pro-Palestine rally on West End had thousands of people across the nation who are joining in with protests just like these against the ongoing war in Gaza. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joins us live to tell us exactly what their mission was and what their message was from both sides of this.
Good morning, Justin. Here in Nashville, hundreds of workers and students joined the nationwide demonstrations, and they started from Centennial Park and marched over here, crossing the street over to Vanderbilt's campus in solidarity with Palestine. They waved flags, played drums, and even held pictures of Palestinians that have been injured by the war, asking for the so-called genocide to stop. They also asked for divestment from companies and institutions that support Israel and the war in Gaza, placing themselves at risk for arrest and even expulsion like we have seen across the country. Protester Sudeb says this is not the only reasons they are doing this. Take a listen.
This is a way for community grief to happen. Like 34,000 people have died. Many of our people in Nashville are Palestinians, have family members who have been murdered in Palestine.
Unlike some protests we have seen across the country, this one ended peacefully, which was the hope of the Jewish Federation of Greater Nashville.
Yeah, we have a very good working relationship with our local law enforcement. We're very grateful to all of their efforts to keep everybody safe.
Pro-Israel groups back the government's and institution support of Israel after the terrorist group Hamas led the first attack. The pro-Palestinian group that we saw here in Nashville held up a sign that said their outcry will continue until May the 7th. We are currently working to confirm that. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Karen. 4:35 is the time. A Kentucky man is now sentenced to 8 years in jail after pleading guilty to killing the child in a drunk boating accident that happened last year in East Tennessee. This is the man right here, 62-year-old Morgan Sturgill. He was piloting his boat while under the influence on the Norris Lake, just north of Knoxville last July. His 19-foot bass boat collided with a larger boat near the dock. The collision killed a 12-year-old, and others also sustained injuries as well. The TWRA in 2023 says there were 23 boating fatalities and 129 under the influence arrest. State Representative Justin Jones is facing some hardships on the road to stay on the ballot for the August primary election. We're going to tell you why his efforts are now being challenged. Plus, treatment inside of the jail.
Will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
4:39 is the time. State Representative Justin Jones is back in the spotlight as he is waiting to find out whether or not his name will appear on the August primary ballot. Now, the Nashville lawmakers' qualifying petition contains 26 signatures. That is just one more than what is required by law. One of his signatures has been ruled invalid because the person lives in another district. There are 10 others that are in question. The Metro Election Commission will be meeting later today. After the hearing, the commissioners will be voting on whether or not Jones' qualifying petition is solid or not. Of course, keep you updated on that. In the meantime, let's talk to Greg about your forecast.
Forecast here today is going to be just as hot as yesterday, if not maybe even a degree or two on the warmer side, and the allergies are going to be through the roof as well. This is one of those almost classic middle of summer Nashville kind of days. We could hit 90 degrees. Pollen counts are going to be up into the medium high range. Tree pollen still being the thing we're trying to work through. It's winding down slowly, but we're still seeing that as the prominent one. Tomorrow, much better, but that's because we're going to have rain tonight and rain tomorrow. Then we get a little more settled but still active going Saturday into Sunday. What do I mean by more settled but still active? Not as many rainy hours, but there will still be a few of them that are out there that we have to watch both of the days of the weekend. Leading into Monday, we begin to drought a little bit more, and that means the pollen continues to climb. What is the weather impact? I'm just getting out the door this morning as far as the roadways are concerned. We're mild, bright sunshine once the sun comes up a little after 6. No weather issues. I'm saying grab the shades for sure. It's going to be a sun glare kind of morning, but as far as weather's direct impact, we should be all clear and green light weather impacting traffic.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's take a look at I-24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. This is over there in the Antioch area. Traffic moving along pretty well out there so far this morning. No big problems or slow ups in either direction. Of course, if something changes, we got you covered. We always do. Steer clear traffic live through 9. Well, in your community, we are talking about expanding care for people who are facing mental health crisis. The idea is to give people help instead of taking them to jail. Metro's West Precinct is now teaming up with the Mental Health Co-op to help make that happen in their area. Now, the partnership helps police in the field responding to the mental health situation. This partnership will provide timely intervention, de-escalation, and access to mental health treatment.
So to have the resource right here at the precinct is going to actually help us to increase our ability to provide the proper services for those experiencing a behavioral health crisis, because they're going to get the resources faster.
Now, the Metro Nashville Police Department says that the behavior health specialists will now be dispatched along with officers when a mental health expert is needed. This is going to happen in all 8 precincts across the city. Well, we're gearing up for Game 6, the key to helping the Preds keep their playoff run alive.
I'm Christine Frizzau on Capitol Hill, where GOP lawmakers...
Infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Show off to the world. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
4:44 is the time. Live look there over Nissan Stadium, home of the Tennessee Titans, home of TSU football. And it's going to be home to Morgan Wallen as he's going to bring his one night at a time tour to Nissan Stadium. That event is coming up tonight. It's happening tonight, huh? All right, over there at Nissan Stadium. Tickets are still available online if you're looking for something going on here in Music City. Well, the Biden administration's humanitarian parole program is now under fire. This program brings migrants from other countries to the United States to live and work. Fox 17 News' Christine Fazal shows us what some of the critics are the most upset about, and you can let us know what you think about this particular story by scanning the QR code that's going to appear at the bottom of your screen. Watch.
The vast majority of migrants who show up at our southern border get here by human smugglers who are paid thousands of dollars to help them along the way.
these smuggling organizations are using social media and just reaching out across the entire world and lying to them and telling them that it's easy, lying them and telling them that they will come here and they will be granted asylum, they'll be allowed to stay in the United States.
In part to deny those smugglers more business, the Biden administration implemented a new strategy early last year, bringing migrants from 4 countries here with the help of the U.S. government.
We have a Cuban, Haitian, Nicaraguan, Venezuelan parole program.
The House Homeland Security Committee just releasing some shocking numbers from that program, showing just between January and August of 2023, nearly 200,000 migrants were flown into the United States, with estimate that since then, the numbers have doubled. Of those, about 80% were sent to cities in Florida.
When you see as the hundreds of thousands coming in from these countries, most cases unvetted, and then just transferred into the inner United States, that's a big problem.
But critics say Congress had the opportunity to fix that problem with bipartisan border legislation and bound to pressure from Donald Trump to block it.
It would have tightened asylum standards to stop exploitation of the asylum system. It would have surged enforcement resources to the border. And it wasn't just voted down by Senate Republicans, it was denied even a debate.
A new Gallup poll showing for the 3rd month in a row, immigration was named as the most important problem for Americans, and maybe one of President Biden's biggest obstacles to winning re-election. President Biden did just announce a new joint agreement with the president of Mexico. Both leaders have vowed to implement new concrete measures to significantly reduce the number of irregular border crossings while still protecting human rights. In Washington, I'm Christine Frizzau.
Back here in the Mid-State, it's officially graduation season, and many students will be graduating from college coming up here this weekend. And then the following weeks after that, Fisk University will be celebrating their 150th commencement. TSU and UT Martin students will also get to walk the stage. So now let's get to Greg Bobus so he can tell us exactly what to expect weather-wise, because you don't forget that day. Graduation day is a big one.
It's a huge one here. You want to make sure that you're doing the best you can to make all the pictures perfect, get all the memories and everything, and make sure that even if there is some rain, you find the pockets of time to get all the good stuff in. So here's what we're planning for the next couple of days. A lot of different things happen within the next 4 days themselves. Today, nothing to worry about when it comes to any rain, any thunderstorms. We're clear when it comes to all of that. More sun than anything else. We'll be up near 90 degrees. If we hit it, it'll be the first time on May 2nd that we've hit it since 1901. Let's just talk 90s in general. The average first 90-degree day in Nashville, and all of our records are kept out at the airport, is May 27th. That's the average time. We take history all the way back into the 1800s. You look at every year, and you find that date on the calendar that's kind of in the middle of all the rest. Now, the earliest it's happened, April 25th. The latest we've seen our first 90-degree day, July 5th. So it can be all over the board this time of the year, and right now we might get it for the first time. If we don't have it today, we're not seeing anything close to 90 over the weekend. We are clear. Here we go, 6 o'clock all the way through the afternoon, but the evening hours, a few clouds creep in. If those clouds get here before 3 o'clock, we're not hitting the 90-degree mark. If they don't, we've got a chance. Taking a look here. 1 a.m. overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, you wake up with us, and we are tracking showers and some thunderstorms that will be on the radar. Weak, sub-severe, meaning no strong wind, no tornado threats, but definitely could slow us down to kick off the day tomorrow. And we'll be tracking all the way through 10 o'clock, and then a few more pop-up showers and weak storms all the way through 5 p.m. Can't guarantee you a specific hour that I know it's going to rain in one specific spot, or a specific hour when it's not. These little bubble ups are going to continue all the way through the entire weekend. Plan accordingly. Have a way to check the radar when you're outside just to make sure you don't get poured on, but I wouldn't say necessarily canceling plans. Just make sure you know that it's not a guarantee we're staying dry the whole time. Out the door to the low 60s right now. Sunshine jam-packs the forecast for us here all the way through, again, mid to late afternoon. 89 is the forecast high, lower 80s into the weekend.
Steer clear traffic at 450 outside. Let's take a quick look here at I-40 at Dallas and Pine, close to the airport. Traffic out there moving along pretty well. No big problems in either direction so far, but things can change. We know they will, but right now we're all in the green. From Mount Juliet to Murfreesboro to Franklin, everybody rolling fine so far this morning.
We were down 3-1, and we actually felt like we played two pretty good games in Nashville.
but it doesn't really matter, right? We didn't get the win, so we knew nothing's going to be given to us. We gotta step up.
Well, checking back in on the Nashville Predators, they were able to survive and stay alive with a big win in Game 5. Now it's on to Game 6 for Vancouver, and they're sending this series back here to Smashville. But just like Roman Josi said, nothing is going to be given to the Preds, and that has been the case in this entirely unpredictable first round. Not only have both teams lost twice at home, but the most recent game marked the very first time where a team has had the most shots on goal and actually won the game. It's been a very weird series. The good news is the coach says that he thinks his team is getting better and better, and now they just need to put it all together with a big home game.
It's one game. Enjoy it for tonight and get back to work. There's a ton of work to do here, and we just want to have that mentality, just try to go home and play our best game and give ourselves the best chance, and we'll see what happens.
You know, you got to be a desperate team. We got to be desperate. Next game, we're still facing elimination. They want to close out in Nashville, so yeah, it's just how playoffs work. I mean, momentum is big, but at the same time, you got to find a way to play even better the next game, and we got to do that next game to get another win.
All right, the Preds will play Game 6 back here in Nashville. That game is on Friday night. If they win it, they move on to a Game 7 in Vancouver. Well, we are still several months away from the college football season, but already the Tennessee Volunteers have sold out for tickets for the upcoming football season. Yeah, they really have. I'm talking about all 70,500 of those season tickets are gone. Clearly, the Vols head coach Josh Heupel must be doing something right. This is the second straight year that they have sold out of tickets, even before the summer has really gotten going. The Vols actually led all of the SEC in home attendance last year, and keep in mind, they are ranked third in the nation as well in that category. So a lot of people like to go out there and see the Vols. They will be opening up their season August 31st against UT Chattanooga. And in case you were wondering, you don't have to get a season ticket to go see the Vols. They've got 70,500 season tickets, but the stadium itself holds more than 100,000 people. But now is your chance to win a very cool prize for your mom. You can skip the last minute shopping with our Mother's Day Mania. We're going to explain how it works coming up in a few. And also coming up, we're going to be looking ahead to some
messages. Morgan & Morgan got my initial offer 10x'd, and I never even got a check. I just got a direct deposit into my bank account. It's so easy.
$4:55 is the time. Okay, we're trying to give you a warning. They're coming. They're big, they're pesky, and they're going to be very noisy. Cicadas are starting to emerge, and you'll be seeing them coming up here a little bit later this month. Now, some of the experts say that about 1 trillion cicadas will start appearing this month. They will not all be here in Nashville. That's across the country. This photo was sent to us by Thomas Smith. It looks like they're already starting to come out. They're expected to be in full bloom coming up here a little bit later in the month, and they'll be with us for around 4 to 6 weeks is what I've seen online. They're not just here, by the way. They're also in parts of the Midwest as well. So the cicada invasion has begun. Now, whether or not you're sending us your news tips or pictures of your pets or cicadas, we'd love to hear from you. You can share your weather photos and much more by visiting our website and clicking on Chime In. You can send us your photos or videos, and you might get to see them right here on television. You can do that on your website, fox17.com.
4:56 our time right now. We're going to be hot once again later on today, and there are so many things happening downtown this weekend. We'll just break down a couple of them for you right now. We've been talking about it. We have the ability to tie things up when it comes to playoff hockey at Bridgestone on Friday. The forecast high temperature for the day is going to be 82 degrees. Puck drops 6 p.m. We're taking a look at isolated storms afternoon into the evening. Obviously, if you have tickets to be inside Bridgestone, you're going to be okay once the game starts. But if you're going to be bouncing around downtown or trying to find ways to watch, be mindful that there will be some storms that are out there. Then we go to Saturday. It's Star Wars night for the first time at Geodis Park. Yeah. The men take the pitch there at 7 p.m. 78 degrees, 75 at 8, 73 at 9 o'clock. There will be a few hit and miss thunderstorms. Cannot guarantee that lightning might not be near Geodis Parks. We'll keep our eyes on that. And then also on Saturday, maybe you're taking a trip to the north of the state line here, and we're heading up to the Kentucky Derby, taking a look here at the forecast. They're very similar to what we're going to see post time, meaning getting ready for the race, 5:57 Central Time. Keep that in mind. Just before 6 p.m., the forecast, again, a few showers and thunderstorms. Could be a wet course as well as they're out there. So just keep that in mind. 72 degrees at noon, 78 at 3 p.m. And then right before things kick off, 79 degrees will be the temperature at 6 p.m. Forecast overall, isolated showers and storms throughout the weekend. Temperatures upper 70s and low 80s. We'll talk about near record heat for today, though, in the next check of the forecast as we go into our 5 o'clock half hour.
Steer clear traffic at 458. Quick look here at I-40 at Fessler's Lane, just east of downtown. As you can see there, traffic moving along pretty well. No big problems this morning in either direction. We got you covered. Listen, if there's a slowdown, if there's a breakdown, if there's debris in the road, we're looking for you with steer clear traffic, and we got you covered live and local through 9. It's never too early to start your Mother's Day shopping. Kids of all ages will have just now you see classic flowers in a card or something a little bit more personal. Experts say it's best to get something specific to her and her needs. Although you can't put a price tag on a mother's love, the average buyer is expected to spend just over $254 on gifts and experiences for their mother. That's according to the National Retail Federation. Well, if you don't want to quite spend that much, there are some options for you, because now is your chance to play the Mother's Day Mania and win some extra money for your mom. You can grab your phone right now, open up that camera, and scan the QR code that's right there on your screen. That'll give you the chance to win a $100 prepaid gift card, or debit card in this case. You can also, in addition to winning that $100 prize, eligible to win a $5,000 weekly drawing prize. Again, scan that QR code, and you have to answer the question, and then you could be in the contest to win. You do not have to be a mother in order to win this particular contest. Good luck to all who are taking part.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
We are going to continue to seek justice for Austin until we have it, because he deserves it. And so does anybody else who's been put in a similar situation.
The family of the man who died after an altercation with a bouncer at a Music Row bar continuing to push for justice. A look at brand new surveillance footage and why the family says they're continuing to call for change.
And pro-Palestinian rallies ramping up across the mid-state. The goal students and protesters are hoping to achieve amid the Israel-Hamas war.
And near record-breaking temperatures this afternoon, but now we're already looking ahead to the weekend and the return to thunderstorms in your forecast.
Thank you so much for joining us here on a Thursday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get started right now with our 5 o'clock hour. Kicking things off this Thursday morning, the top few stories you'll want to know about before you head out the door.
The Anti-Semitism Awareness Act heads to the Senate today. It passed the House with strong bipartisan support just last night. Well, the ACLU argues the legislation could stifle free speech on college campuses as protests continue across the country. The ACLU says the act is not needed as federal law already targets anti-Semitic discrimination and harassment.
So many developments overnight as far as pro-Palestinian protests are concerned across the country at college campuses. This is video new this morning from overnight at the University of California, Los Angeles. That's UCLA. We've got a live look where riot gear officers showed up telling the crowds they don't have the right to be there doing what they're doing. So they show up to try to force them off campus, and they're not listening. The protesters given orders to disperse or face arrest, and so far, they are still on campus.
Authorities in Maryland recovered the body of the 5th victim at the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse site. The Unified Command identifying the victim as a construction worker, Miguel Angel Luna Gonzalez. According to the police, investigators recovered his body from inside a red truck. The Key Bridge collapsed in March after a cargo vessel slammed into the bridge.
We have an update to breaking news this morning. An endangered child alert for a missing boy out of Antioch has now been canceled. The TBI reports that baby is safe in Florida. His mom is in custody. So far, investigators say this was the result of an ongoing custody battle.
You're not letting students in based on their ethnicity.
Well, continuing coverage right now, tensions are truly at an all-time high on college campuses, not just here, but across the country. Video behind me here showing some of the violent clashes that have led to police officers having to step up and get involved. Also, so many arrests across the country as well. Well, students, we understand, getting into some trouble, classes being canceled, as well as commencement ceremonies. Here in Nashville, though, things went a little bit differently. Right now, Fox 17 News' Kieran Aguilar joining us live with an update on a march that happened yesterday, Kieran, right here in Music City.
Good morning. Supporters marched from Centennial Park and ended up here on Vanderbilt's campus. Hundreds joining the rally, asking for the so-called genocide to stop. They waved flags, played drums, and they even held pictures of Palestinians that had been injured in the war. They were asking for divestment from companies and institutions that support Israel and the war in Gaza, placing themselves at risk for arrest and expulsion like we have seen across the country. Protester Sadeb tells us why he came to the rally.
So the goal of this evening is really to show solidarity between community groups as well as student groups in sort of demanding an end to the genocide happening in Palestine right now.
Unlike some protests we have seen nationwide, this one ended peacefully, which was the hope for the Jewish Federation of Greater Nashville. This pro-Israel group believes students need to be better informed before they head out to rally.
We value the right to protest, but also these are educational institutions, and I think many of them are missing a really important educational opportunity, which is to help contextualize and educate these students.
Pro-Israel groups back the government and institutions' support of Israel after the terrorist group Hamas led the first attack. The pro-Palestinian groups here in Nashville held up a sign that says the outcry will continue until May the 7th. We are working to confirm that. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
5:04, the big three things in the forecast to know here for the rest of the week. One is that the heat is still on for us here. That's not going to change until tomorrow. We could be near record-breaking temperatures. 89 degrees the forecast high today. Showers and storms arrive late tonight, and then they're going to be on and off periodically Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We get in a real traffic jam worth of weather here for the next couple of days. This system moves so slowly. We'll track it for you, though. No severe weather, which is good. No flooding risk, but absolutely a nuisance here for the next few days. Record heat, it definitely could be in the cards. We're all clear when it comes to Code Red. Taking a look, this is the last hot day for a while. If we don't hit 90 today, we're not going to do it for at least a week. 89 will be the high, lower 80s for Friday into Saturday, and then we'll slowly climb back into the middle 80s by Sunday into Monday. The big focus in the next check of the forecast will be that potential for storms this weekend.
Greg, thank you. 5:05 is the time. Also, I like how you said that, the last hot day for a while. 80s are hot to me. Okay, it's all perspective. I-40 at Donaldson Pike near Nashville's International Airport, which is always busy, especially this weekend for the Preds and everything else going on. Right now, we're not seeing any kind of issues, no slowdowns here, giving you the green light. We'll continue sharing all of your steer clear traffic updates, though, throughout 9 a.m.
5:06 right now in Operation Crime and Justice. The fate of a Nashville security guard now in the hands of a Nashville grand jury. He's accused of hitting a patron, leading to that man's death. We have been following this story for months now in court. The victim's family got to see the surveillance footage for the first time. Just devastating to have to relive that. Everything that happened on February 18th outside of the Tin Roof Bar on Demumbrian Street. Metro Police report says 26-year-old Austin Turner was asked to leave. He came back and got into a fight with the security guard, Richard Cornelius. Police say that led to Cornelius pushing Turner out the front door and then hitting him from behind. Austin Turner fell and hit his head. He died days later. The security guard, again Richard Cornelius, says that Turner ripped his shirt and hurt his leg in the scuffle, so he's claiming self-defense. The grand jury will determine whether this case goes to trial.
Coming up, terrifying moments in Wisconsin. We have new information this Thursday morning after a shooter tried to force themselves inside of a middle school.
And still on the hunt for a suspect, a trailer full of Bibles set on fire. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning, getting you updated on national headlines. And not too far down the road from us, at the stroke of midnight last night, the state of Florida's new restrictions on abortion took effect, outlawing almost all abortions conducted after 6 weeks of pregnancy. This map shows you a map of the states where the procedure is banned, where there's a limit up to 6 weeks, a limit after 7 weeks, or where there is no limit, and that would be the states in the teal here. So again, in Florida, the procedure taking effect last night. We do know, as we have been following this story, there had been people across the country who would go to Florida for the procedure because of stricter bans in their states. But now that Florida has enacted the new restrictions here, that likely will stop. So we'll follow the story and let you know whether any other states decide to follow suit here on Fox 17 News this morning. Erica.
Jen, thank you. Well, still on the hunt for suspects. Investigators once again asking for the public's help identifying whoever burned Bibles right in front of a church. This happened back in March, so last month. We're going to show you this photo right here of the charred and destroyed Bibles. Look at your screen. This all happened outside the Global Vision Bible Church that's off of Old Lebanon Dirt Road. The church pastor telling Fox 17 News that a man set the trailer on fire and then took off in a truck.
A fire truck was parked right across the road, and I could see a big flame just on the other side of the fire truck, but I could not see what was burning.
But the investigation this Thursday morning is ongoing. No word as of right now whether or not this is going to be considered a hate crime. But anyone with information is asked to go ahead and contact the Wilson County Sheriff's Office. By the way, we do have all the information if you want to take another look over at fox17.com.
New information this morning after a gunman tried to make a way into a Wisconsin middle school. Take a look at the aerials here. Police say that gunman was a student, and police shot and killed the person. They say the student never actually made it into the middle school and no one else was hurt. Police would not say whether the person fired at authorities or what type of weapon they had. We're told that schools in that district will remain closed today, and we expect to get an assessment as to whether open tomorrow here a little bit later.
Coming up in your Cookeville forecast, temperature is going to be near record breakers today. Right now it's 63 degrees. And yeah, Bridgestone Arena, Geodis Park, Nissan Stadium. We're using all the venues this weekend. We'll look at the forecast for many events across the area.
Taking a stand in, well, we're going to do that story here in just a second. Let's first get to steer clear traffic. I-24 Harding Place in Antioch. Looking good here on your steer clear traffic.
And taking a stand, the protests on college campuses.
Danger stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent.
Battling electric vehicle fires.
Tonight on Fox 17 News at 9.
Good morning and welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning. It is 5:15, a live look from Los Angeles. It is out of control here on the campus of UCLA. Police in riot gear have showed up overnight, telling everybody they've got to get off campus, that they're not legally allowed to be there doing what they're doing. And these protesters have flat out said, we're not leaving. And not only that, but Erica and I were just reading reports this morning into Fox News where they have obtained lists of demands that they are making. The people who are out here shutting down this campus, resorting to violence, by the way, have demanded things like skater helmets, shields. They are demanding wood so they can put up barriers. They want knee and elbow pads. What in the world?
Well, just yesterday, the GOP says, hey, perhaps we need to go ahead and bring in the National Guard. So the White House administration, you know, they're still not on board with that move.
It is unbelievable to see what is happening here. We just continue every morning when we look at these live shots, continue to be somewhat flabbergasted by it. But we're going to bring them to you, and we're going to keep you updated as all this develops live through 9 a.m.
Well, talking about the White House, President Joe Biden today plans to meet with the families of 4 law enforcement officers who were killed over in Charlotte, North Carolina. This happened earlier this week. And he also plans, his office says, to speak with some of the officers wounded in the shooting. This comes after multiple police officers who were attempting to serve a warrant for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon were then injured. In total, 8 law enforcement officers were shot. The 4 who survived are recovering, as we understand, from their injuries.
Using his day off, former President Donald Trump yesterday temporarily went back to the campaign trail. He was out there with events in Wisconsin and Michigan. Let's take a look at some of the highlights and listen.
As you know, we'll be holding our convention in Milwaukee just a few months from now. And we can't wait. That means you got to vote for us because we're spending our money in your state.
Mr. Trump's return to full-time campaign mode will come to a stop today. He has to be back in the New York courtroom. The former president facing 34 counts of falsifying business records. He is the first former president to face criminal charges. I was reading just yesterday. It does look like they're going to allow him to go to his son's graduation, which was something that was also up in the air that he had brought to light, saying that it would continue to be just not right or unfair if they didn't let him let him go to his son's graduation. So it looks like that's going to happen. All right, moving on to our next story, Erica.
There's also a concerning trend this Thursday morning. A growing number of local election officials are reporting being threatened or harassed because of their work. And according to a new poll from the Brennan Center for Justice, 38% of election worker officials report being mistreated. And that is up 8 points from just last year. Poll workers say threats are most often made in person or over the phone. In response, more drastic security measures are being put in place, and that security does include cybersecurity protection, emergency response plans, as well as more physical security in offices and polling locations.
Air Force preparing new charges against the Massachusetts Air National Guardsman who leaked classified information on social media. Now, you might remember the story of Jack Teixeira. He pleaded guilty in federal court to all 6 counts that he was facing under the Espionage Act. That happened last year. The Air Force is going to have a first hearing to review evidence coming up in a couple of weeks.
Well, we're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist because today is going to be hot. I was really laughing because you said we're going to have some cooler days. And to you, the cooler days are in the 80s.
Well, to the climate, they're cooler. We're supposed to be at like right near 80 degrees this time of the year.
No, I get it. I was talking to Jen earlier though, but when you have the diaper bag and the stroller and the car seat.
Erica is in new mom mode, and so I will say this: heat takes on a whole different feeling when you're in new mom mode.
Yes.
It just does.
You got to unload the car and do all the things.
All of a sudden,
suddenly you're taking your baby's fan because I'm burning up.
Yeah, all of a sudden it feels a lot hotter.
So I will change my verbiage. It will be not as hot this weekend.
There you go.
There we go. We'll just change it up a little bit.
He's at the mercy of the ladies right now. Sorry,
well,
Greg.
You know what? Hot is hot. It's all perspective. I mean,
it is.
Everyone sees a different threshold of this isn't cool, literally. So, yeah, we will not be as hot. I mean, today we're talking near record high temperatures, but we will still consistently be in the 80s the next 7 days, just not up near the 90-degree area. So we're heating it up like it's 1901 later on today. Yeah. Rare air for us here. Rain returns late tonight into tomorrow. Unsettled pattern is ahead of us overall tonight into tomorrow, and then also Saturday and Sunday. We're starting off similar to the last couple mornings, 50s and 60s. Nothing catching you off guard with temperatures. No rain gear, definitely summer clothing, sunscreen, and sunglasses. Here we are, future track. Nothing happening until late in the day. A few clouds move in. The cloud cover will tell the story. If we get our clouds earlier in the afternoon, we're not going to hit 90 degrees. If we don't, we've got a good chance we could. That's just the Nashville area. If you're in the Cumberland Plateau, you will be not as hot. You'll be in the low to middle 80s. This is when everything turns active. After midnight, a few pop-up showers and weak thunderstorms that'll move in. And they will be periodic, not just the morning hours of tomorrow, which we'll be tracking in real time as you wake up with us, but also toward the afternoon and evening, a few more showers and thunderstorms. No severe weather, but a couple of downpours here and there, many dry hours mixed in between, and even some sun mixed between. So having the Fox 17 Code Red Weather app, you can track that radar if you have plans you're going to be out on the go.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you to I-65 at Trinity Lane north of downtown. That is where traffic is moving along really nicely so far this morning. No big problems in either directions. Nothing that can hold you up as you get out and about this morning in either direction. We're looking good. Same can be said here at 24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway. Coming in from the Antioch area, couldn't ask for better as you get out there this morning either. We'll check in on some of your drive times coming up in a few, but right now we are smooth sailing.
5:21 right now. May Day proved to be an eventful day across the nation. Not only do we have all these protests at college campuses across the country that are in most cases out of control, rideshare and delivery drivers went on the picket lines trying to get their message out there. This comes as a lot of people are pushing for higher wages and job protection. And again, May 1st, May Day, being the day that a lot of people chose to do this. So let's take a look here at some of the events that happened across the country. Let's go to Baltimore right now, where we know that postal carriers rallied for better protections. About a dozen workers rallied outside of a post office there, holding up signs that read "Enough is enough" and "Protect our letter carriers." The group hopes that this is going to provide some much needed help.
Mayor Freddie O'Connell filed his first budget for consideration by Metro Council. We'll take a look at the $3 billion budget plan and what the mayor is promising for the future of Nashville.
And speaking of Nashville, we got a live look right now. This is over toward Geodis Park. May the 4th be with you this weekend. Looking ahead, Nashville SC will take on Montreal at Geodis Park. It'll be the team's first.
Messages, Morgan & Morgan got my initial offer 10x'd. And I never even got a check. I just got a direct deposit into my bank account. It's so easy.
5:25 is the time here on this Thursday morning. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell is proposing a $3.2 billion budget for the city of Nashville. Now, that budget does include a raise for city employees as well as a brand new city minimum wage of $20 an hour for anyone who works for the city of Nashville. They're the ones who get the $20 an hour. Now, the mayor says despite whatever he does, he already knows this budget will not be making everyone happy.
To be clear, as many of you know, this was a challenging budget cycle for many reasons. Our revenues are expected to be nearly the same as last year, so our spending will be nearly the same as well. This means we can't accomplish everything we want in a single year, but we do some important things. We are investing in our people. We're still going to have among the best paid teachers and the best paid police in the state of Tennessee. We're investing in key services and programs like the Barnes Fund so we can simultaneously improve customer service and make it just a little easier for more Nashvillians to stay here.
Now, 38% of the budget will be geared towards education. The budget will need to be approved by the city council before the end of June. Also, keep in mind, the mayor is also planning to make a brand new department with this budget. I'll tell you what that is coming up in our 6 o'clock hour.
5:26, looking ahead to the weekend. We know today dry and hot. That sums it up in a nutshell. Tomorrow, a few isolated showers and storms that will lead us into our weekend. Not a washout, but isolated storms will be on the radar morning, afternoon, and evening, both Saturday and Sunday. It's not raining the entire day. It's not washing out either day, but definitely going to be something to monitor and just kind of keep an eye to the sky to watch for quickly changing clouds. We're not going to have any severe weather with these thunderstorms, but definitely could impact some plans out there if you're not watching the weather carefully. Not quite as warm as today, but we will still see temperatures that are going to be in the 80s. So how do you keep track of that radar when we're not right here with you in the morning? Well, you can get the Fox 17 Code Red Weather app. Not only does it give you the temperatures and severe weather alerts, but there will be the ability to take a look at Doppler radar whenever you want. Scan the QR code right there or go to either app store depending upon your device. All you do is type in Code Red and it's free to go from there.
Steer clear traffic at 5:27. A quick look outside here at I-24 Harding Place. That drive coming in from Antioch, really moving along nicely there in both directions. No big problems out there. No rain, no pain. You're doing okay. Let's take a look at the overall drive times right now. 27 minutes in from Hendersonville, 50 minutes in from Murfreesboro, 26 minutes in from Kingston Springs. It's over to the west of town. We'll let you know if anything does change with steer clear traffic, but right now, could not ask for better times. Well, coming up, a very high-profile state representative could be kept off the ballot this election. We're going to tell you who will determine the outcome later today.
As pro-Palestinian protests continue over the war in Gaza.
Winter on Fox. So yeah, Saturday on Fox is where it happens.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Eurostone. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Now on Fox 17 News This Morning, a pro-Palestinian march draws hundreds of people to Nashville. What the protesters had to say, counter-protesters as well, and how things ended up right here in the Mid-State.
Oh, taking a look right there, Geodis Park. We are going to be hot today, up near record-breaking temperatures, and Nashville SC takes the pitch on Saturday if storms could impact the game. Coming up in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic, taking a look at I-40 at Spence Lane, east of town. Doing okay as you make that drive in. We're going to give you an update on things happening elsewhere.
A lot to get to, but we do want to start by saying thank you for joining us here on a Thursday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Topping this half hour, a Kentucky man has now been sentenced to 8 years in jail after pleading guilty to killing a child in a drunk boating accident that happened last year in East Tennessee.
62-year-old Norman Sturgill of Grayson, Kentucky, was piloting his boat while under the influence on Norris Lake, that is north of Knoxville. This was last July. Well, Sturgill's 19-foot bass boat collided with a larger boat near the marina. The collision killed 12-year-old Connor Catlett and injured several others.
We have seen violent demonstrations break out across the country with regards to the Israel-Hamas war. We had a pro-Palestinian rally right here in Nashville at Centennial Park where hundreds of people showed up.
Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar is joining us to explain what they had to say and the other side. Karen, what can you tell us this Thursday morning?
Good morning. Well, as you mentioned, there were hundreds of demonstrators, students and workers who joined the protests that were happening nationwide, including one that is happening this morning. And they are marching in solidarity with Palestine. They started in Centennial Park and they crossed over the street here to Vanderbilt's campus. They waved flags, played drums, and even held signs with pictures of Palestinians that had been injured by the war, asking for the so-called genocide to stop. They also asked for divestment from companies and institutions that support Israel and the war in Gaza, placing themselves at risk for arrest and even expulsion, like we've seen across the country. Protester Sidep says these are not the only reasons they are doing this.
This is a way for community grief to happen. Like 34,000 people have died. Many of our people in Nashville are Palestinians, have family members who have been murdered in Palestine.
Unlike some protests we have seen across the country, this one ended peacefully, which was the hope of the Jewish Federation of Greater Nashville.
Yeah, we have a very good working relationship with our local law enforcement. We're very grateful to all of their efforts to keep everybody safe.
Pro-Israel groups back the government's and institutions' support of Israel after the terrorist group Hamas led the first attack. Now, this pro-Palestinian group that we saw here in Nashville held up a sign that said the outcry will continue until May the 7th. We are currently working to confirm that. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Well, looking ahead to a very busy weekend. You see it right here. The schedule is jam-packed with events, and downtown Nashville is likely going to be seeing a whole lot of traffic, so plan ahead. The Preds, they're taking on the home ice at Bridgestone for Game 6 against the Canucks. And then Morgan Wallen, well, he has a weekend-long concert series over at Nissan Stadium happening as well. And besides those big events, the Symphony Center also has a performance of Beethoven. And then at the Ryman, they have another performance on top of all of that. Perhaps that's not enough for you. The Nashville Sounds, they're also playing, and it's going to be a Fox 17 News fireworks night. So maybe you want some more updates, you want some more details, the timing of all of this, go to fox17.com.
Yeah.
Will the weather cooperate?
Erica, it's a great question. You know what? I was just thinking Morgan Wallen starts tonight.
Oh,
3
yeah.
days.
Yeah, so starts tonight and then Friday and Saturday.
And there's going to be a forecast I'll give for all 3 different days because they will be a little bit different when it comes to timing. Let's focus on the Preds, though. We made it to Game 6. We can even this thing up. Puck drop, 6 p.m. Friday. Obviously, indoors looks great. Outdoors, not so hot. There will be a few showers and storms that do track through. So say you're heading downtown on Lower Broadway and maybe you actually were able to get some tickets. When you're outside, you got to watch out for a few showers and storms. The last thing you want is to get poured on and then have to walk into a building where there's ice. Think about it. Right. I'm just putting that out there for you. Keep an eye on the radar. That would not be a real good way to start off the game. Here, taking a look here. We're chasing a record today. No rain at all today. We're looking good. We're up near 90 degrees this afternoon, but what I'm calling a popcorn storm pattern ahead of us. We're going to look at that and why we're going to look at just these hit and miss showers and storms. We'll use Future Track for that coming up in about 5 minutes.
Steer clear traffic at I-40 at Spence Lane. This is just east of downtown. Traffic there moving along really nicely so far. No big problems in either direction. Exactly what you want to see and exactly what we expect to see at 5:35 in the morning here on a Thursday out there. Pretty soon, though, all lanes here will be clogged up with all kinds of traffic here. It's just not happening right now as you get out and about in that area. Here's I-65 at Trinity Lane. Here's another area of town that will be jammed packed with traffic coming up here in just a little bit, but so far so good from the north side.
Justin, thank you very much. 5:36 right now. Today, we will learn whether Tennessee Representative Democrat Justin Jones can run for re-election in August. Now, the Metro Election Commission is meeting to decide whether he fulfilled the requirements. The requirements being, in order to run, you have to get 25 signatures from voters in your district. That doesn't seem like that would be a hard thing to do. But the Election Commission claims that Jones turned in 26. However, one of them was not from his district, so that got thrown out. And then the commission says that 10 of the signatures are under review. The commission plans to decide today whether those signatures are valid. They'll have to do things like check addresses and verify, again, that the people who signed the petition are in fact valid constituents. So we'll find out today, and then the August ballot is expected to be set tomorrow.
Just ahead on Fox 17 News, an airplane landed at Nashville's International Airport mid-journey, all over an unusual odor in the cabin. We're going to explain what we know so far.
And some sports fans will have perhaps a tougher time.
We call a code red weather alert.
No, we're providing you with the information needed to prepare and stay safe.
Battling electric vehicle fires.
Tonight on Fox 17 News at 9.
5:40 on the dot, making headlines this Thursday morning. A Southwest Airlines flight had to land in Nashville because of a smell in the cabin.
I'm just going to put it out here right now. This is an odd story, and it's odd because they're not really giving us very many details. What kind of smell? They didn't say. The flight, originally from Baltimore, Washington International, going to Denver, ended up here in Nashville. So they were up in Baltimore, they were going to Denver, stopped in Nashville because of a so-called smell. And they had to get the plane out of service because of it.
And they're still working.
Still working to figure out what it is. As soon as we get answers, we'll let you know.
All right. Well, a cable dispute has sports fans missing out on some local games. The disagreement between Comcast, Xfinity, and Diamond Sports caused people to go ahead and lose access to Bally Sports regional networks on Tuesday. And this happened during the hockey game.
Yeah. Listen, you get sports fans riled up because they can't watch their games. Major League Baseball being hit hard right now, in particular 15 local markets impacted by the blackouts. We understand the NBA and NHL coverage is also impacted. Those leagues are in playoffs that are being nationally broadcasted, so chances are you better be able to see those. Comcast is accrediting impacted customers upwards of $10 a month.
That does not make up for...
You can't see your game.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, do not anger sports fans. And also, if you are a sports fan, you know that feeling when you DVR a game you can't watch and you don't put the extra hour onto your recording.
Oh, whoops, and then you miss the end.
And you watch the whole thing until the last 2 minutes. Don't be that person for the Preds game on Friday. Just a little pro tip there. It's not fun if you've never been there. Taking a look. School day forecast could not be better. We're talking almost summer feels here. The kids are going to be itching to get outside when they get home later. First bell, 67 degrees, 88 degrees after school. What does this mean for after school sports? Yeah, later on this evening, going to be hot. We're talking warm in the bleachers here. 86 degrees still at 5 p.m., 82 at 7, and 75 degrees at 9. Clouds pick up a little bit here throughout this time frame, but no rain in the forecast for us. The big thing we're going to watch is the continuation of future track here the entire day. Just a few clouds will creep in, but after sunset, rain moves in. We'll work you through tonight, tomorrow, and the weekend coming up in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic gets us out to I-24 at Harding Places this is in the Antioch area. You can see their traffic there moving along really nicely so far. Things are starting to bunch up, though. A few more people starting to get out there on the road over the last few minutes. As a matter of fact, we'll give you the fresh drive times with an updated look on the drive coming in from Antioch and Murfreesboro coming up in a few.
Justin, thank you. Also ahead, Metro Police teaming up with a mental health group to give people in crisis the help they need. How the program tries to keep more people, they say, out of jail.
And we've been mentioning this morning the Preds are still alive in the playoffs. They're going to face the Canucks Here, help instead of taking them to jail.
In Metro's West Precinct, they kicked off their partnership with a mental health co-op to help that happen in their area. So we're going to show you some video from yesterday. The partnership helps police in the field responding to a mental health situation by pairing them with mental health workers and giving officers some extra training. This partnership is going to provide intervention, de-escalation, and access to mental health treatment.
So to have the resource right here at the precinct is going to actually help us to increase our ability to provide the proper services for those experiencing a behavioral health crisis, because they're going to get the resources faster.
Well, Metro Nashville Police telling Fox 17 News this program will now operate in all 8 precincts across the city.
We were down 3-1, and we actually felt like we played 2 pretty good games in Nashville, but it doesn't really matter, right? We didn't get the win, so we knew nothing's going to be given to us. We gotta step up.
All right, Brad stayed alive Tuesday and forced a Game 6 against the Vancouver Canucks, which now sends the series back here to Smashville.
Yeah, you think back to those 2 home games that we lost.
Why you got to bring that up?
How things could be different if we had just gotten maybe 1 win and maybe make it a little bit easier. But here we are, series coming back to Smashville, and that unpredictable first-round series has really ended up with a lot of twists and turns, as both the Preds and the Canucks have lost twice at home.
Yeah, the head coach said he thinks his team is getting better and better, and now they just need to put it together right at home. Listen.
It's one game. Enjoy it for tonight and get back to work. There's a ton of work to do here, and we just want to have that mentality, just try to go home and play our best game and give ourselves the best chance, and we'll see what happens.
You know, you got to be a desperate team. We got to be desperate. Next game, we're still facing elimination. They want to close out in Nashville, so yeah, it's just how playoffs work. I mean, momentum is big, but at the same time, you got to find a way to play even better the next game, and we got to do that next game to get another win.
Find a way to win. Okay, we want to know what you think. Do you think the Preds are going to be able to pull off the win Friday, forcing a Game 7? Right now, 59% of you say yes. Okay, y'all are more optimistic this go-round than the last poll that we had.
Listen, if they win on Friday, yeah, I think we need to turn the studio Preds colors on Monday. I'm just putting it out there.
All right. Hey, by the way, if you want to vote, just head to twitter.com. You can also go to x.com and search up Fox Nashville. You'll find our account right there.
Greg, what is your prediction? I'm just getting excited.
You know, I mean, I'm kind of 50-50 with this because the 2 games they've won, they weren't at home. So if they do win, I'm actually extremely confident about a Game 7 because they did win 2 games on the road. So if we can scrape through with this one, then there's even more optimism, I think.
I think they'll be kissing the catfish.
Oh, and every little thing we can do to give all the positive vibes here. And we'll look at the forecast for it, but there are also a lot of other days coming up here. We've officially gotten our way well into spring. We've now turned the calendar into May, so now we're talking about a lot of the upcoming holidays. Mother's Day is 10 days away. We cannot stress that enough. Mother's Day is 10 days away. Do not forget about Mom. 10 days. Memorial Day, 25 days away. Father's Day, 45 days away. Taking a look at summer. The first day of summer is 49 days away, and believe it or not, 4th of July is only 63 days away. So all these dates kind of creep up real quick once we start getting warmer. You can always follow along on social media, and you could always just reach out to us if you have any questions leading up to holidays about forecasts, relatives coming in, the whole 9 yards. And as everything goes here for our pollen forecasts, medium to high today. It is not going to be an easy pollen day. The wind picks up a little bit, and we haven't had rain in a little while, so we're talking about extending our tree pollen up to that very high category. Everything else is still fairly low. Tomorrow, we get a little bit of a break for your Friday, and then Saturday into Sunday and Monday, it'll creep right back up. So the only day of relief is going to be tomorrow. 89 degrees this afternoon, low 80s on Friday and Saturday, and middle 80s Sunday and Monday. We'll talk weekend rain chances in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic at 5:50. Quick look outside here at I-40 at Fester's Lane. This is just east of downtown. As you can see there, the traffic moving along very nicely in both directions there, in and out of the east side of town. Where we are seeing our first slowdown of the morning is coming through the Jolton area. Let's take you up there. This is going to be I-24 coming down from Clarksville. 68 minutes on the drive right now. We do have our first slowdown here right around the Whites Creek Pike exit there. That would be exit 35. We seem to have some bit of an accident in that area that is slowing things down as you make that drive down from there. You can always try to take Clarksville Highway right alongside. That'll get you past it until they are able to get it out of the way.
Justin, thank you. We have a health alert this morning. New information out right now shows the number of women who die connected to childbirth is down, but there are some groups that still have very different outcomes.
The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention releasing the data yesterday. In 2021, the maternal death rate stood at 32.9%, and that was per 100,000 live births. In 2022, though, that dropped to 22.3 deaths per 100,000 live births. But despite that decline, the maternal death rate for Black women in 2022 was still higher than for any other group.
Now, the Department of Health and Human Services announced just this week more than $100 million will go toward community-based groups that are focused on helping moms and babies.
Coming up, after a bear cub was taken from the woods for a photo op, we're going to explain how that bear is recovering.
Tennessee's Craft Fair kicks off this weekend, and it's a big event here in the Mid-State. The arts and crafts you can see and when you can check it all out.
I'm Fox 17 Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan. If you're new to Nashville, listen up. We're talking all things middle
dollars. We've honored over 30 hometown heroes so far. We need your help to find more. Go to PonseyLaw.com, nominate a person, family, or organization today. They could be our next hometown hero.
Good morning and welcome into Fox 17 News this morning. Ooh, just on the horizon. I bet if we hold this long enough, maybe even for just like a few more seconds, we could see more of a glimpse of that sunrise on the horizon. It's so pretty. Great start to the day, too. Greg's got your forecast. We're talking highs close to 90. This is going to be a near record-breaking day.
That's all I can think about. I'm sorry. It's a beautiful sunrise, but it's going to be hot.
Prepare now. You have been warned.
Well, remember when there was viral video of folks who were taking a baby bear out of a tree?
Oh, yeah.
In Asheville, North Carolina?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're getting an update now on the bear's condition.
So the good news is doing that didn't kill the baby bear, but it did have to go to rehab. Do we think the people that did this learned a lesson? Probably not. But this is the viral video showing that group of people picking a bear out of a tree in Asheville, North Carolina, just so they could take selfies. One person even dropped the cub. The Appalachian Wildlife Refuge says the silver lining here now is that the cub is being properly cared for, because when they did this, they separated the baby from its mom. I'm just going to say it. They're lucky Mama Bear did not come out of that tree and rip their face off.
Exactly. So there are also officials that say the cub is eating well and thriving and should be released with the other bears in the fall. Well, they also tell us, though, that it's a really good reminder that folks should not interact with any kind of wildlife. If you see a baby animal by itself, leave it alone.
You would think you wouldn't have to say that, but here we are.
Here we are.
In the age of social media.
It's truly a sign of the times. Just going to say that.
Good grief.
Look at that baby bear.
Poor little
also
thing.
Wondering what the
now
heck
it's
is
lost.
going on. Yeah.
It's on the wrong side of the fence. It's lost. And once its mama, look at it. See, Greg, we need to send it over to you because I feel like Erica and
we're feeling some type of way.
We're feeling a lot of ways about that.
Yeah, we're feeling a lot of ways about that. I mean, the person pulling a baby bear out of a tree to take a selfie is kind of like that person that would get hit by a car playing Pokemon Go, walking across the street, not looking for traffic.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean? Just there are just some things you shouldn't do. But what you should do is love on our dog of the day. Look at this. We have Murphy, sent in by Eric Lilly, and Murphy is named after RoboCop. Think back to the cops named from RoboCop. So we got a diehard fan here. Eric, thank you for your dog of the day. Loving it. Good day for a dog walk. Very much like yesterday. The earlier we get out or the closer to sunset, the more comfortable everyone's going to be. And this is going to be a day where the pavement gets pretty hot. We're going to look at pavement temperatures later today as we go into the 6 o'clock half hour, because even though we're in early May, the sun angle is going to be really beating down on us. Temperature already back to 71 degrees by 9 a.m. Earlier we're out, the better. Later in the day, the better as well. You can always send your dog of the day photos to us here by going to Facebook, meteorologist Greg Bobus. You find the pinned post. That's how you get your dog right here on Fox 17 News this morning.
Steer clear traffic goes to I-24 at Briley Parkway. This is in the Antioch area. Traffic out there moving along really nice. No big problems as you make that drive in from Antioch, from Smyrna, from Laverne, and Murfreesboro. We're doing really well on that drive so far. We do expect it to creep up over an hour. It is not there yet, though, so that is good news. Where we are seeing some problems already is coming down from Montgomery County, even though looks like the accident is now clear. This was happening at I-24, very close to exit 35, which would been the Whites Creek Pike exit. We were dealing with some reds and yellows here a short time ago. Looks like we've gone green, which means the 68-minute drive time will start to drop.
Justin, thank you. We talked about everything that is happening this weekend, but happening tomorrow, the Tennessee Craft Fair kicking off. The 53rd annual Spring Craft Fair is taking place over at Centennial Park. It's on the lawn. It's right by the Parthenon. You cannot miss it. It's so many folks out there enjoying the arts and the crafts made by award-winning artists. Okay, so the fair does start tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning. It's also going to be open Saturday and Sunday. There are local food vendors on site, plus a lot of activities for the kids. Get out there and enjoy. We always love going to this event.
All righty. Now's your chance to play Mother's Day Mania and win some extra money from Mom. If you grab your phone right now, open up the camera feature, hold your camera to that circle there on your screen, and that will get you the link to the QR code to register to play today. So this is a trivia contest. You get the answer right, you could win the $100 daily prepaid debit card, so it's like $100 cash essentially. And if you win that, then you're registered to win the weekly $5,000 drawing.
That could be a lot of gifts for Mom.
Of course.
All right.
Yeah.
If you want some more information about this trivia contest, go to fox17.com/contest. We have everything you need to know. And again, you do not have to be a mom in order to participate.
Well, we say frequently that we're glad we don't have to be in the dating scene these days. Here's another reason why. Bumble, the dating app, is introducing a new feature that allows men to make the first move. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Aren't guys supposed to initiate anyways? Well, not on Bumble. No. Bumble was known initially for allowing women to make the first move. But now they have this new feature where women can set a prompt to send to matches, and then men can make. What are we looking at?
I have no idea.
What are we watching?
What does this have to do?
What is this video?
With dating? I have no idea.
What is happening here? What in? Okay, all right. 6 o'clock hour now. Let's go.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Thursday morning, a child who went missing from the Mid-State has been found over 1,000 miles away. We're going to tell you what police believe sparked the endangered child alert.
And Crime Stoppers need your help identifying whoever burned a trailer of Bibles right in front of a Mount Juliet church. The surveillance video from that Easter Sunday.
As pro-Palestinian protests continue across the country, yesterday a similar protest happened right here in Nashville. Coming up, I'll tell you what local organizations are hoping to achieve, and I'll have reaction from a pro-Israel group.
Thanks so much for starting your Thursday with us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I'm Erica Glover. We're going to get started this Thursday morning with a good news update because an endangered child alert for a missing boy out of Antioch has now been canceled. The TBI reporting that a child was found safe in Florida.
We understand the mom is in custody. So far, investigators say this appears to be the result of an ongoing custody battle.
We also have continuing coverage regarding a pro-Palestine rally over in Nashville Centennial Park that had thousands that were gathering. They were protesting the ongoing war in Gaza, and I should say hundreds of folks gathering here, but thousands across the country.
Yes, and our Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live this morning to talk about how everything went down. And Karen, it would appear at least that this managed to stay peaceful and civil.
Yes, that's right. Luckily, it did manage to stay peaceful and civil, unlike what we've seen in demonstrations across the country. And that's the hope, that these protests are peaceful, especially with tensions so high in the Middle East. Now, supporters yesterday marched from Centennial Park, as you mentioned, and they crossed over here to Vanderbilt's campus to protest the so-called genocide over in Gaza. Hundreds gathering for the rally, including students and workers. They waved flags, played drums, and even held signs with pictures of Palestinians that have been injured in the war. They are asking for divestment from companies and institutions that support Israel and the war in Gaza, placing themselves at risk for arrest and expulsion like we've seen across the country. Protester Sudeb tells us why he came to the rally.
The goal of this evening is really to show solidarity between community groups as well as student groups in sort of demanding an end to the genocide happening in Palestine right now.
The Jewish Federation of Greater Nashville, a pro-Israel group, believes students need to be better informed before heading out to rally.
We value the right to protest, but also these are educational institutions, and I think many of them are missing a really important educational opportunity, which is to help contextualize and educate these students.
Pro-Israel groups back the government's and institutions' support of Israel after the terrorist group Hamas led the first attack. The pro-Palestinian group we saw right here in Nashville did hold a sign that said that the outcry will continue until May the 7th. We're working to confirm that and get some more details. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Good morning, Greg.
Hey, good morning. Three big things to know here to getting our way through this week and into the weekend. And the heat is on. You felt it yesterday. You're going to have almost the exact same kind of an afternoon, but even more sunshine this time around. We could be near 90 degrees, and if we hit it in the Nashville area, then we'd tie a temperature record set back in the early 1900s. That's the kind of heat we're talking with here now. This is the last really hot day up near 90 for the next 7 days, though. Showers and storms arrive tonight. Until then, just sunshine. Active weekend with showers and storms, not just tomorrow, but also into Saturday, Sunday, and lingering into Monday. Right side of your screen, your current temperatures are there. You're waking up in the 50s to near 60 degrees. We are 10 minutes into our daylight, and those temperatures will quickly climb from the 50s and 60s to 89 degrees this afternoon. Lower 80s for Friday and Saturday. So we'll talk about that temperature record and how frequently we see 90 this early in the year. We'll also start breaking down and pinpointing when those storms arrive overnight.
Circular traffic takes us to I-40 at 46th Avenue. This is over on the west side of town. Traffic there could not be better. Good morning, Bellevue, Kingston Springs, Fairview, all of you making that drive in from that west side. You are looking good this morning. So this is a good time to get out. If you're that first person that opens up the door in the morning at your office, puts on that first pot of coffee, this time is for you. Drive times also looking pretty good. Clarksville, 64 minutes, just over an hour in from Murfreesboro. This is not the worst part. That comes a little bit later. So right now it's still good. 27 minutes coming in from Mount Juliet.
Justin, thank you. Right now, Fox 17 News, we want to show you live looks over at UCLA's campus where they are really coming to a head with protesters, Jen, who are being arrested out here. Now, this is the Gaza war protest that we've been covering for a couple of days now, especially in LA.
It is, interestingly enough, I mean, the fact that it's gotten to this point that this is what's required. I'm watching video right here live. We've watched a lot online behind the scenes as well. I'm noticing all of the plywood, the wood that some of these protesters were using to try to basically barricade themselves. And Fox News released, well, here's somebody getting arrested and walked away now. The guy with the gray hair, green rather. That's green. He's yelling something at the camera. But these protesters have shut down college campus. Classes are canceled. Nobody has the freedom to be where they should be because they're paying to go to school here. And these protesters, per a document that Fox News received, have a list of demands of the things that they want people to bring them, that they think they deserve to have brought to them as part of their efforts.
Asking for food, asking for different kind of gear to wear when they're out there protesting. All sorts of things that you're just wondering.
Helmets, knee pads, wood.
Correct. And keep in mind, they've had to cancel commencement ceremonies. There have been students saying, I don't have any time or the ability to go to the library to go study, and they have final exams.
It's just wild the way that this has unfolded. So yeah, we've got police in riot gear. The protesters in many cases are going straight up against them, refusing to leave. But now you can see we have officers with zip ties trying to get them off campus. So we'll monitor this story for you with breaking developments live through 9.
And back here at home, Mayor Freddie O'Connell.
Back to our silent sessions.
Morgan & Morgan. The choice is easy.
Know about flooding in advance. Download the free Fox 17 Code Red weather app.
6:10 is the time. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell is proposing a $3.2 billion budget. Now, this budget does include a raise for city employees as well as money for affordable housing. Even has $18 million for brand new textbooks for metro schools. Now, one of the other things it does is somehow creates a brand new department. And once you hear about this department, you'll understand why it may have been needed.
We're addressing our cost of living and the affordability of Nashville in response to feedback we've heard from residents in every Metro Council district. This is a budget that puts people first in many ways. Keeping our focus on customer service, this budget takes an important step toward creating a department to manage trash and recycling collection. We're setting the foundation for a separate standalone department to manage Nashville's solid waste.
Stand-alone department. Currently, the solid waste and recycling is being run out of the water department. 38% of the budget will be geared towards education. The budget, by the way, will still need to be approved by the City Council before the end of June. Well, temperatures and tensions continue to rise overnight on the campus of UCLA in Los Angeles. This is after a violent clash between pro-Palestinian protesters as well as pro-Israel protesters, and then you mix in police among all of that. Crowds of protesters are not following police orders, we understand, and they have been ordered to leave campus. Police in riot gear have arrived there on the campus as of last check. Now, this morning, officers are removing the barricades and entering the site where the protesters have been set up. Protesters outside that encampment have also refused to leave. They could be heard chanting, "We're not leaving," earlier this morning. The latest standoff comes after violence between pro-Israeli and pro-Palestinian protesters broke out on the campus there. Again, this is at UCLA. That happened Tuesday into Wednesday. Of course, there's been protests across the country, including a few here in Nashville. However, whatever we had going on here in Nashville was not quite to this level that we're seeing out there in Los Angeles. We'll continue to keep a live look at some of the things happening out there as you see the police there continuing to try to shake and move and tear down those barriers.
Coming up in a forecast of heat for now. Storms take over going into the weekend, and that could impact many events happening not just Friday, but also into Saturday every weekend. We'll time it out.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-24 Harding Place, doing pretty good so far as the sun is just coming up there on the south and east side. We'll give you the latest drive times, plus the family of a man who died after an altercation with a...
Download the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather app.
Right now, Fox 17 News, we are following breaking news from the campus of UCLA where protesters have set up an encampment, zip tying their hands, and police officers now having to step in. This is an aerial view, so do stay with us because you're kind of getting different perspectives zooming in as we get closer and closer to where police are arresting the protesters and have set up.
Right, so it does look like, and this is an interesting sign of the times, they've got multiple blocks cordoned off. This is not just one small corner of a massive California college campus. All right, this is UCLA. And when the chopper zooms out, which is what they're doing right now, this is blocks worth of a college campus that is shut down because of what's happening here. We do know, look, they put a map layer over top of it. That's interesting. So we've got police in riot gear. We've got what would appear to be perhaps buses where they're going to take people. You know, that's what we saw at Columbia University when police were finally allowed to come on campus and start making arrests for people who were breaking the law. They were being zip tied and then put into buses and then carted off.
Yeah, so a lot going on. We also want to show you a gas cloud has been going off over there. We're trying to zoom in and get a better idea about this. Does it look like hard hats is what the people are wearing out there, the protesters?
It would appear that way, and yes, something does look smoky from this shot. Hard to tell why or what that is, but
do keep in mind they've had to cancel classes. Also yesterday, university leaders announced that they're carefully examining, and I'm quoting here, carefully examining their own security processes because of what's happening.
It's unbelievable that it's been allowed to get to this point. The fact that, we have seen leaders of these colleges and universities who have, in many ways, people say, cowered to the demands of these protesters that have taken over these college campuses where people who are paying to go here can't even show up on campus.
Can't even go to the library.
They've been told we can't keep you safe, but they're paying to get an education. So we're monitoring this for all the live local developments. We'll bring them to you here through 9 a.m.
Well, former President Donald Trump is going to be returning to court today for his criminal hush money trial as it continues. The jury is expected to hear testimony from attorney Keith Davidson today. Davidson is an attorney who represented two women who say they had sexual encounters with the former president. Prosecutors, though, are also seeking $1,000 fines for four comments that Trump made that they say violated a judge's gag order.
And by the way, Mr. Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. Now to Operation Crime and Justice, an aggravated assault charge against a security guard at a Midtown bar. This was the man who was accused of hitting a patron at the bar, ultimately leading to his death. Well, now the case is moving forward in court. In fact, the victim's family watched surveillance footage for the first time of this whole thing. That had to have been so traumatic. But if you remember the story, this is what happened in February outside of the Tin Roof Bar on Demonbreun Street, where 26-year-old Austin Turner was initially asked to leave. He came back and got into a fight with the security guard, Richard Cornelius, who you see right here wearing those glasses. That led to Cornelius, according to police, pushing Turner out the front door and hitting him from behind, causing Turner to fall, to hit his head, and then die days later.
We were not ever going to talk to him again. We never got to verbally speak with him again. He never opened his eyes again for us after that moment. It's tough.
The security guard, Richard Cornelius, says that Turner ripped his shirt and hurt his leg in the argument, the scuffle. He's claiming self-defense now. The grand jury is going to ultimately determine whether this case goes to trial.
6:18 is the time, and we go to Maryland this morning, where authorities have now found the body of the fifth victim after the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse. That victim, identified as 49-year-old construction worker Miguel Angel Luna Gonzalez. According to the release, investigators found his body in a red truck. One more person is still missing. The Key Bridge collapse in March happened after a cargo ship slammed into the bridge. The investigation into why and how that happened continues.
We're talking about TikTok now because Universal Music Group and TikTok have agreed to a new licensing deal. The deal is going to bring back artists like Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, and Drake. Now, back on February 1st, UMG, they began pulling its music from TikTok after its previous contract expired. The deal will also address the worries that UMG and artists have about artificial intelligence and artists' voices. The group is going to be working with TikTok to, quote, ensure AI development across the music industry will protect human artistry. Let's check in now with our Code Red meteorologist, who says it's a lot of sunshine today. It's going to be hot.
I'm curious, though, because we're talking about the possibility of some storms, right?
Yeah.
Like the chances there. What does that mean for after-school sports and the Morgan Wallen concert at Nissan Stadium outside tonight?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing at all.
Okay,
Everything
good.
that happens today between around, literally right now through about midnight is fine in the Nashville area.
All right.
Our far western counties might start getting an isolated shower or two a little bit earlier than that, but all the big events we have going on today, whether that be after school sports or that be the big concert, no problems whatsoever. It will definitely be hot. You definitely want to wear light, loose clothing, and you want to have some sunglasses at least through sunset if you can, because that sun is going to be really beating down on us today. It's already bright, only been up for about a half hour or so. We're mild 50s and 60s for right now. That's going to change really quickly. No weather issues, though, for your drive this morning. Grab the sunglasses. We're all clear when it comes to a weather influence. Here's a look at future track, just confirming that we're okay all day. This creeps into 7 o'clock. Perfect. Nothing out there. A few clouds moving in. Temperatures will still be in the upper 70s to right near 80 degrees at this point. Then we go 7 o'clock to midnight, and a few pop-up showers and storms begin to develop. But as far as those early evening and really the first half of nighttime hours, we're okay. Tomorrow morning, not so nice. I'll be tracking some showers and storms in real time right around now tomorrow morning, and then all the way through 10, 11, and 12 o'clock. A few more hit and miss showers and storms for the evening. Periods of sun, storms, a little cooler tomorrow. Today's high 89 degrees. Tomorrow, back to the lower 80s.
Steer clear traffic out the door. Grab the sunglasses out there. This is I-40 at Spence Lane, just east of town. You can see the sun glare is up full up there for you this morning, so get that sun visor ready to go. And if you're going to be traveling east at all in downtown or across many other neighborhoods across the city, you can see they're showing the rings of the camera literally right here because of the sun coming in so hard. No accidents out there. We are accident free on the roads in all directions right now. No minor delays anywhere. We're doing good. Clarksville, 64 minutes coming in. Had an earlier crash up there. It is now cleared, we're told. 67 minutes coming in from Murfreesboro. This is just congestion. People starting to pack the interstates. Just 30 minutes now coming in from Hendersonville, but this time we'll raise into possibly the 40s before the morning is over.
Justin, thank you. A third of Americans may have had their personal data swept up in a February ransomware attack that happened on United Health Group subsidiaries that disrupted pharmacies across the country.
Well, this revelation coming from the CEO of United Health as he testified yesterday before the House and Senate. His name is Andrew Whitty, and he admitted that hackers broke into Nashville-based Change Healthcare through a poorly protected computer server. Those were his words. Whitty also confirmed that he authorized a $22 million ransom payment made to the hackers. $22 million. Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn questioning the CEO yesterday.
Your revenues are bigger than some countries' GDP. And how in heaven's name did you not have the necessary redundancies so that you did not experience this attack and find yourself so vulnerable?
Interesting. Yeah. So how are you that big with that much money and you don't have the systems in place? Now, experts consider this to be the most significant cyber attack on healthcare in U.S. history.
$22 million. Well, coming up, thousands of people love their Tennessee Vols. I'm one of them. The milestone marked by selling out the entire season.
Good morning to you, and thanks for joining.
A powerful law firm on your side, one with a proven record of success. Get Hughes and Coleman and get it done.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Ponce Law.
We're covering breaking news this morning regarding ongoing protests across the country. Now, New York City's mayor is defending the NYPD's response to protest over at Columbia University. As an example, he talked about a moment when NYPD officers tore down a Palestinian flag that protesters raised in place of the American flag. And he, quote, he said this: "My uncle died defending this country, and these men and women put their lives on the line, and it's despicable that schools will allow another country's flag to fly in our country." Keep in mind, around 300 people were arrested over at Columbia, and a nearby college just earlier this week is ongoing. This morning, these protests continue, and we'll have more coverage throughout this morning.
All right, everyone, switching gears in a big way. Let's go to the Tennessee Volunteers. We're still months away from the college football season getting going, but the Tennessee Vols, they've already sold out for their season tickets for the upcoming football season.
I mean, not shocking, but they got a big fan base. 70,000 of those season tickets are sold, but Neyland Stadium holds more than 70,000.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like you can't make it to a game. Now, you're going to pay for it. Those tickets are going to cost you. This is the second straight year that they have sold out of tickets before.
And to be clear, this is Nissan Stadium you're looking at here during the Vols bowl game.
That's right. And they actually did the checkerboard there, which was really cool.
Yes, that is very cool.
Yeah, the Vols led all the SEC last year in total home attendance. They ranked third in the nation in that category.
Yes, they did, and they opened up the season coming up here on August 31st, taking on UT Chattanooga. So, great sign for the Vols as they're looking forward to another great season.
All right, let's check the weather right now. We've got Nashville SC coming up here at home, a matchup this Saturday at 7:30. How's the weather looking? Well, could be a little stormy. Greg left us a couple of cliff notes here. You could see around 7 o'clock, looking okay for that matchup, but then by the time we get into the action on the pitch, we could see maybe some storms moving through around 8 or 9 o'clock Saturday night. So we'll keep an eye on that for you, and we'll join Greg again in just a few minutes for a deeper look at your forecast.
Steer clear traffic at 628. Quick look outside to I-65 at Trinity Lane. There on the north side, doing just fine. Typical congestion for this time of the day, but no major accidents on the roads. We'll continue to follow things for you as we move closer and closer to our 7 o'clock hour.
A Kentucky man pays the price for a decision he made on a Tennessee lake. We'll tell you who else has been held responsible next.
And a high-profile
Play Mother's Day Mania for a chance to win a $100 prepaid debit card. Watch Fox 17 this morning and look for the QR code to enter. Get the question right and you could win. Complete contest rules at fox17.com. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Thursday morning, a pro-Palestinian march drawing hundreds of demonstrators to Nashville Centennial Park. We're going to tell you what protesters had to say, and those who are pro-Israel also have to say this Thursday morning.
And a live look in Nashville to kick off maybe what is an early weekend for you if you've got a couple of days off. Hope you have a great long weekend. For the rest of us who are in the ground for the next couple of days, we'll get your weather updates for your commute and check those drive times here in just a moment.
Steer clear traffic takes us to Vietnam Vets at Gallatin Pike in Hendersonville. A bit of a slow go there. We're going to give you the latest drive times coming up.
It looks nice and sunny out there. Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Thursday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get straight to our top stories this half hour. We have a Kentucky man who is now sentenced this morning to 8 years after pleading guilty to killing a child in a drunk boating crash last year in East Tennessee.
Well, 62-year-old Norman Sturgill of Grayson, Kentucky was driving his boat while under the influence on Norris Lake. That is just north of Knoxville. Again, this happened last July. Sturgill's 19-foot bass boat collided with a larger boat right near the marina, and the collision killed 12-year-old Connor Catlett and injured several others. We have more updates on this story over on fox17.com.
A pro-Palestine rally near Vanderbilt University has hundreds of people show up, joining the thousands nationwide that have been protesting the war in Gaza.
Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar is joining us live where this happened, explaining their mission, and also she had the opportunity to speak with the other side, getting their perspective.
Hundreds of students and workers here in Nashville joined the nationwide demonstrations in support of Palestine. They started at Centennial Park, crossed the street here to Vanderbilt's campus, asking for the so-called genocide to stop. They waved flags, played drums, and even held signs with pictures of Palestinians that had been injured by the war. They also asked for divestment from companies and institutions that support Israel and the war in Gaza, placing themselves at risk for arrest and even expulsion, like we have seen across the country. Protester Juliet says these are not the only reasons they are doing this. Sought
between community groups as well as student groups and sort of demanding an end to the genocide happening in Palestine right now.
Unlike some protests we have seen across the country, this one ended peacefully, which was the hope of the Jewish Federation of Greater Nashville.
Value the right to protest, but also these are educational institutions, and I think many of them are missing a really important educational opportunity, which is to help contextualize and educate these students.
Pro-Israel groups back the government's and institutions' support of Israel after the terrorist group Hamas led the first attack. The pro-Palestinian group we saw right here in Nashville held a sign that said that the outcry will continue until May 7th. We are working to confirm that. Reporting in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. We're also looking ahead to, well, tonight. The jam-packed schedule with events happening in downtown Nashville is likely going to be causing a lot of traffic headaches. The Preds taking on the home ice at Bridgestone for Game 6 against the Canucks. That's Friday. But Morgan Wallen's concert over at Nissan Stadium, that is happening Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And on top of all those big events, the Symphony Center also has a performance. Plus, over at the Ryman Auditorium, they're also going to be having a performance as well. Did I mention the Nashville Sounds Fox 17 News Fireworks Night? That's on Friday. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to keep up with. Is the weather going to cooperate? Greg, this is your time to go ahead and chime in. Let me know.
Time to shine, Greg.
First of all, I'm already tired just hearing what's happening. I'm not even going to any of it. Second of all, you know, it's my time to shine, or it's my time to just be real with y'all. That not every hour is going to be great this weekend, and that includes Friday when many things are happening. Thankfully, a lot of those events are going to be indoors, but the ones that aren't, the chance for a shower or storm we can't rule out. I'm doing my best to work it through the timeline of when they move in, and hopefully they don't necessarily hit right during those peak times. Record highs possible today. No rain today. It really will start overnight. Tonight will be close to temperatures we've not seen on May 2nd since 1901. The unsettled pattern when it comes to showers and storms moves in overnight and into tomorrow. Metro Center, we have plenty of sun. Right side of your screen, we have temperatures right now. They're in the 50s and 60s, and they will continue to climb. This is a real slow-moving weather maker on the left side of your screen. Once it moves in tonight, it's not going to really exit our area until Monday. We're starting off dry. We're starting off carefree. We will look ahead to your Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday on Future Track in a few minutes. Right now, we're getting you on the road.
Steer clear traffic takes us to Vietnam Veterans Boulevard at Gallatin Pike. This is on the north side. Traffic there moving along pretty well as you make your way into the city from places like Gallatin and Hendersonville. And out there this morning, really couldn't ask for better drive times, honestly, because there's just no crashes yet. And that's the good news. 29 minutes in from Franklin, 33 minutes on that drive coming in from Hendersonville, where we're starting to see the slowdowns. It's a typical spot. 76 minutes coming in from Murfreesboro this morning. You could try to use Murfreesboro Pike to steer clear. But listen, if you live out there in Smyrna, Laverne, Antioch, you know what it is. It's going to be a slow go coming down I-24.
All right, Justin, thank you. Hey, we will find out today whether Democrat Tennessee Representative Justin Jones can run for re-election in August. Now, Justin Jones is one of the polarizing figures, you could say, in the Tennessee legislature who has been in the headlines, most notably for the protests he led last year on the House floor. So he was kicked out and then reinstated, and now he's got to get signatures in order to run for re-election.
Yeah, he has to collect 25 signatures from voters in his district. The Election Commission says that Jones turned in 26 signatures, but one was not from his Nashville district, and 10 of the signatures are now under review. The commission plans to go ahead and decide today whether those signatures are valid and then set the August ballot tomorrow. So a lot more updates to come.
6:38 right now, and we go to Alabama, where lawmakers are, Arizona, my apologies. We go to Arizona, where lawmakers want to repeal an abortion ban dating back to the Civil War. The measure now heads to the governor's desk there.
And also ahead, coming up during our 7 o'clock hour, tornado season in the mid-state.
The drive to A1 Floors, 200 Harding Road in Franklin, Kentucky.
All law firms are not the same. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
.640 is the time. We continue to follow the breaking news from Los Angeles. You're taking a live look at a very active scene there where police and pro-Palestinian protesters continue to clash there on campus. Now, much of the campus is shut down because of scenes like this. According to the Daily Bruin, that is the student-run newspaper out there, they say they are seeing flashbangs that are being used, also clouds of drifting smoke over the crowd there. They've also confirmed that at least one professor has been arrested among the other protesters there on the campus of UCLA. We're also seeing lots of graffiti.
Look at the damage to the buildings. That's the first that we've really seen of this. Look at how they have destroyed that building on campus. We're watching what would appear to be protesters throwing chairs through porticos. We've had reports, as Justin mentioned, of flashbangs. We could see the smoke in some of our previous shots. I mean, it looks somewhat like a war zone there. We're going to check back in here in moments.
The state of Arizona and their Senate voted to end a 150-year-old ban on abortion.
The law, introduced in 1864, nearly 50 years before Arizona became a state. The state Supreme Court upheld it 3 weeks ago. The measure forbids nearly all of the procedures except to save a mother's life. 2 Republican state senators joined 14 Democrats to repeal it. Governor Katie Hobbs expected to sign that repeal.
6:42 our time, taking a look at a forecast, starting with Future Track and moving us into tonight. We're sunny now all the way through about 6 o'clock. Clouds begin to creep in this evening into the first half of tonight. We'll stay dry until around midnight in the Nashville area. Our western counties work into a few showers and weak storms after sunset. This is not going to be a severe weather night or a night to make sure that we're being weather aware. Just know that there will be some rain on and off periodically. Going to tomorrow morning, waking up at 7 a.m., I'll be tracking some rain on the radar. Could slow you down for your morning drive and getting the kids to school. cool for sure, but it's going to be pockets of rain, not an all-morning rain for everyone. And the afternoon does the same thing. A few more of these small, little hit-and-miss pop-up showers and weaker thunderstorms. That's the name of the game all weekend. Same thing happens on Saturday and on Sunday, but no severe weather any of those days. Curious question time. What is the only U.S. state capital without a McDonald's? Is it Montpelier, Vermont, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Helena, Montana, or Cheyenne, Wyoming? We'll have the answer for you coming up in a couple.
Steer clear traffic. I think I know the answer, but that's okay. Steer clear traffic. Let's get to I-24 Waldron Road. You make that drive in from Rutherford County. As you can see, traffic there moving along fine. I promise you, they've got McDonald's out there as well. If you're making that drive into town, lots of other fast food restaurants and other stops, which is why traffic can be so slow at times. We're going to have the very latest look at your drive times coming up in a few.
At 6:43 right now, the Preds alive in the playoffs, and they're coming home tomorrow night. We'll tell you what the coach has to say about the progress that they're seeing during this series.
Also coming up, there's a brand.
It's getting a little warm in here.
Tonight at 7 on Fox 17.
Battling electric vehicle fires.
Tonight on Fox 17 News at 9.
6:46 is the time, and right now, Fox 17 News, we're giving you a live look at the campus of UCLA in Los Angeles. Police right here on your screen, they are forming a line and then pushing back protesters, a large number of protesters that have been in this area set up for a week or so now. And Jen, I know you're taking a closer look to see what is there. This is a large encampment. You can really not even recognize certain parts of campus.
No, I mean, it's absolutely trashed for starters. I mean, the tent city, the garbage, the graffiti, they have destroyed a building just to the left, and we're watching officers now in that human line as they pull away tents to try to get them out of the way. Not, can't tell exactly what they're going to do with them, but they're dragging tents out. And police also moments ago did clear out the breezeway in the building just to the top left of your screen. So we saw protesters in that breezeway throwing chairs, throwing tables. It looked like out of the building, but police have now moved into that area where you can see those arches, and now police are there. And look, we just saw more smoke go off at the top of the screen. Oh, and there's more right there. We're hearing from the student-run newspaper there at UCLA. It's called the Daily Bruin. They've been giving updates on Twitter, and they've been reporting, along with other local media sources, that police are using flashbangs to try to get people to disperse.
Yeah, and just yesterday, the university leaders were saying that they were going to be investigating their security, how they handle these protesters, because a lot of folks are asking questions, wondering, are these outside agitators? How many of the protesters are actually students?
And in this case, how many are faculty? Because the Daily Bruin is reporting that several faculty members have said they are willing to be arrested as they are a part of this. And to your point, Erica, some of the bigger questions that the people across the country are asking, and right here at home, how do you get to this point? How did it get so bad?
Those are the questions that the students who are currently enrolled in campus but cannot get to their classes, cannot take their exams.
That's what they want to know.
We're not going to be able to get to their commencement ceremonies.
Right.
They want to know as well.
Right. You got to wonder, too, whether we're going to see a movement among all of those families that have been paying for their education, whether they're going to try to get reimbursed for all the days that their students have not been allowed on campus because of this.
And we should also mention over at the University of Alabama, they've had protests. We're going to check in there later this morning, as well as other campus, and get those responses from leadership in different cities across the country.
And by the way, to our knowledge, we've still got a small, peaceful group at Vanderbilt University.
We were down 3-1, and we actually felt like we played two pretty good games in Nashville, but it doesn't really matter, right? We didn't get the win, so we knew nothing's going to be given to us. We gotta step up.
Wait, he said they felt like they played two pretty good games. Okay.
Just not good enough.
Not good enough. The Preds staying alive Tuesday, though, forcing a Game 6 against the Vancouver Canucks. If I could say it right, that would help, which now sends the series back here to Nashville tomorrow.
Right, so it's been a pretty wild first round here. Lots of twists and turns. Both of our home games we lost. But now here's what's interesting. The Preds and the Canucks have both lost twice at home. So we come back home. We've got that matchup tomorrow night right here at Bridgestone Arena. The head coach really thinks the team is getting better. Now they just got to put it all together all at once. Fingers crossed they can do it. Or should we say fake fingers crossed?
Oh, I like it.
Regular fingers, fang fingers, fang toes, everything. Let's hope they get that win.
I'm really, this curious question of the day, Greg.
Yeah.
Is interesting.
Without a McDonald's. Okay,
It is
I'm
the
ready.
only U.S. state capital that has no McDonald's in its city limits. Montpelier, Harrisburg, Helena, Montana,
D.
or Cheyenne.
D.
Okay, Erica's got B.
No,
Jen?
D.
Okay, Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Okay, so here's what my first thought was A, and here's why.
Okay.
Out of all the cities that you listed, I was trying to think which one would probably be the healthiest. Like which city would have people that live like the healthiest lifestyle. So I thought A.
And Justin says
Justin
A.
says Vermont as well. Jen, Justin nailed it. Also, also Montpelier only has about 7,000 residents. Very small capital city as well, too. So there's your answer to your curious question. As far as us getting out the door, get ready to be sneezing. Use the allergy meds as prescribed. And yeah, that's going to be a tough one. Tomorrow's going to be great. The problem is you'll exchange the allergy meds for the umbrellas again as showers and storms creep back in. But right now, so much sunshine, but also so much heat later on this afternoon. Right side of your screen, temps are already climbing. We're going to be up to near 90 degrees later this afternoon. A look at the forecast here. Maybe you're going to get outside and fire up the grill later today. I mean, it's already going to be hot enough. Why not? Get the veggies, get the fruit maybe even out there. And you can grill donuts, believe it or not. Taking a look. 80s all the way through this evening. We'll talk about some storm chances and update to future track before we get to 7 o'clock.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
On Santa Rosa Island, Florida, some foggy moments as it rolled in and out repeatedly around midday Wednesday, as this time-lapse video shows. A different kind of dazzle Tuesday night into Wednesday as these bolts of overnight lightning from storms captured in Iowa. And this rich, colorful dawn is frozen in time in Little Rock.
Want to see your weather photos and videos on TV? Click Chime In on this station's website to share.
Steer clear traffic. Let's get out the door at I-65 at Trinity Lane. Unfortunately, our camera is frozen up here, but we did want to show you some of the debris that was sitting in the middle of the road. Unsure exactly what it is, but I'm going to step over here very quickly and point it out to you. Again, this is going to be 65 as you head north towards Madison. Right here, people have been trying to avoid this. Again, unsure what it is, but the Tennessee Highway Patrol at some point or TDOT will come get this out of the way. They're on 65. Also watching the crawl coming in from I-24 Waldron Road. We're still about 80 minutes at this point, an hour and 20 minutes getting in from Murfreesboro. We're going to take a fresh look at drive times coming up here in a few.
Justin, thank you. Hey, slither up to this story. A snake clinging to the bumper of a car on the highway. Oh, no. How it may have gotten under there.
Oh, wow. And coming up on Fox 17 News this morning in our 7 o'clock hour, a Metro Schools mom is not happy with her child's elementary school, saying that they never communicated a serious injury regarding their son. This is a story we've been following for weeks, and in our 7 o'clock hour, brand new information with our Fox 17 News investigator, Amanda Chin.
I'm Fox 17 Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan. If you're new to Nashville, listen up. We're talking all things Middle Tennessee.
We covered billions and billions and billions. $3 billion last year alone. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Good morning and welcome into Fox 17 News this morning, where we continue to follow the breaking news updates of the clashes, the unrest, the devastation at college campuses across the country. Right now, look at the scene at UCLA. This is the University of California in Los Angeles. A live look from KABC right now. This is unrecognizable. I know it's still dark there right now. The trash, the people, the damage to buildings, the smoke that we've been seeing going off from flashbangs as police in riot gear are trying to force all of these demonstrators off campus. Many of them are refusing, and they've been arrested and put in buses to be taken away.
About 30 minutes or so ago, we saw the flashbangs right out in this area. But to your point, Jen, unrecognizable parts of campus with students who are saying, how am I supposed to get to the classes, to the library, and just around campus in general?
The disruption has been unparalleled at college campuses like this. We're going to be monitoring the situation across the country, but also here at home, which has so far stayed peaceful at Vanderbilt University. But we'll keep an eye on that for you as we go live through 9.
All right, we're switching gears right now because we do want to show you a story that's trending. If you're afraid of snakes, go ahead and just look away. A driver in Alabama was driving around with a snake dangling from their car. I mean, if you have to have a snake near you, maybe that's the best area.
Yeah, as far away as possible.
Yeah.
You know, we were driving back from Alabama just the other day. You just never know, right? So they get off at an exit only to find that, yeah, this snake was hanging on by a tail.
The snake's going, woo!
Yeah, on for the ride. Experts say, of course, like in areas where you might find snakes, they tend to crawl up in places and get cozy.
Listen, I kind of feel bad for the little feller.
He didn't really know what he was getting into, now
Yeah.
did
He's just
Can
going
anybody
along
tell-
for the ride.
Can anybody tell what kind of snake that is? It's a big one. And so how do you tell the driver, like if you're the person recording this, so like if you're in the passenger seat and you're recording all this, what do you say to the driver of that car to try to get him to pull over?
Right, because if you lay on the horn, they're just going to be wondering, what are you
You're
doing?
like,
What's wrong?
How do you say you have a snake on the back of your car?
Pull over at Bunky's.
That's a good stop there in Athens.
Better them than me, though. I don't know what the heck I would do. And the best part that was in the teleprompter at the very end there when you were talking was, people say not to use your hands to remove a steak and to get a pole instead.
Well, you got to tell people that.
That's why I didn't say it.
Sometimes common sense, come on.
Well, Florida people would argue otherwise.
You're right. I mean, we've had people that we've seen recently that are wrangling alligators with no shoes on. So, hey, you never know. Taking a look here, future track, giving us a little cloud cover late in the day, and then a few showers and storms move in tonight. Very hit and miss at first, very light, nothing to worry about when it comes to any severe weather the entire weekend. But taking a look at 7 a.m. tomorrow, you're going to wake up to some rain on the radar. I'll be tracking for you here. Scattered showers and storms take us through a good chunk of not just Friday, but also Saturday and Sunday. We're going to be hot today, up near a temperature record. Stick with us as we go into our 7 o'clock half hour. We're going to talk records, why it's been so long since we've been as hot as we're going to be today, and when our typical first 90-degree day of the year should be. That's all coming your way in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic right now at just about 1 minute before 7 o'clock. Looking better on Vietnam Vets at Gallatin Pike, but still slow this morning coming in from Sumner County. You're a little backed up from about Rivergate Mall towards Shackle Island. That's a typical slowdown, nothing major. We're also tracking a couple of other slowdowns coming in on I-24 this morning from Smyrna, and it looks like we might have a little something popping near I-65 at Trinity Lane. So we'll get a check of that in our next report.
Meanwhile, now's your chance to go ahead and play our Fox 17 News Mother's Day Mania contest for your chance to win some extra cash for your mom or maybe yourself. Grab your phone right now and scan this QR code that's on your screen for your chance to win a $100 prepaid debit card. If you get the question right, you could also win the $100 daily prize. Plus, the winners are also eligible for a chance to win the weekly $5,000.
That could go a long way.
Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, long way for mom. So scan the QR code right there for your chance to win. By the way, as we get ready to kick off our 7 o'clock hour, we've got more headlines coming. Right now, though, health experts are lowering the recommended age for regular breast cancer screenings for women, reversing long-standing controversial guidance.
Yeah, so the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force is changing their 2009 recommendations when they raised the suggested age for routine mammograms from 40 to 50 years old. Well, they felt at the time testing early would do more harm than good. But rates of breast cancer diagnoses are increasing by 2% a year from 2015 to 2019. So right now, they recommend that women go ahead and start screening at the age of 40.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Coming up, a pizza delivery driver tells me that he was shot at 7 times in Ashland City. I'll have reaction from him and what his family is currently doing about it.
And now on Fox 17 News This Morning, continuing coverage of the protest in Nashville in support of Palestine and how things unfolded here in Music City.
And Democratic Representative Justin Jones' name could be left off the ballot. What's expected from the Metro Election Commission today?
And the forecast for us here, very hot today, up near record-breaking territory, but I'm tracking in some storms that could impact your weekend plans in the forecast.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Thursday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell, glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m.
Well, the family of a pizza delivery driver who says he was shot at 7 times earlier this week for being in the wrong driveway is now asking for harsher penalties for the person responsible.
Yeah, what a story here. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live now from where this all happened. This was a teenager involved. Karen, get us up to speed.
Good morning. The family tells me that they are currently speaking to the DA's office to pursue harsher penalties for the suspect, Ryan Babcock. He is accused of shooting at 7 times, as you mentioned, 18-year-old Caden Wheeler. Wheeler tells me that he happened to be in the wrong driveway, which is right behind me. It was the suspect's driveway when he actually meant to be in the driveway, which is right next to it. And he was delivering a pizza and ended up coming back to his truck before those shots were fired. Ryan Babcock is charged with aggravated assault. We checked records and it matches the address Wheeler says he was at on Poole Street. Wheeler tells me the shooting happened around 8 p.m. on Monday. He tells me he delivered the pizza to the correct house, and on the way back to his truck, he was shot at, the bullet holes piercing through it. Wheeler says he has even temporarily stopped delivering for Domino's now because of how frightening the experience was, and says the charge he was given was not enough. He says that if the bullet had hit any other spot, he could have been killed, and he believes the charge shouldn't be aggravated assault but attempted murder. Again, the family is currently talking with the DA's office to pursue harsher penalties for the suspect. We are working on contacting the DA's office ourselves for comment. Reporting live, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
7:03 your time, taking a look at the forecast and the big 3 things to know here today, because today and tomorrow are going to be very different in many ways. The heat is on. We had it yesterday. It's not going anywhere for your Thursday. We're talking about high temperatures that'll be in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. If we hit 90, it's the first time on May 2nd we've done it since 1901. But let that sink in. That's how hot today's going to be. Showers and storms arrive later on tonight into tomorrow. Active for the weekend with more showers and storms. Very intermittent. They're going to be hit and miss, and they're going to just chug along here into next week. There's no guaranteed dry hour of the entire weekend. That being said, we're not washing it out. We're not going to have hours upon hours of consistent, steady rainfall. They're going to pop up, move through, die down, and that's the case we're going to see here on the radar. Near record heat possible today. We're all clear when it comes to code red. We've got the sunshine. We're rolling with that today. Sunscreen, sunglasses, and just smiles here today when it comes to no weather worries aside from the heat. We are forecasting a high of 89 degrees.
Steer clear traffic. Let's get to the very latest of something we've been working on over the last few minutes. We've seen a crash here on I-65 at I-24. They continue to move the camera around. This is on the north side of town towards the Trinity Lane area. Unsure exactly what TDOT is looking for right this second, but they'll refocus in on perhaps that crash coming up here as you make that drive down from the north side. Madison, Hendersonville, all of you could be affected by this. Again, we're seeing that slowdown, especially on the other side of the screen. Right over here is where we're seeing that slowdown as you make that drive in. You want to try to take Ellington Parkway. It's a good way to steer clear there on that north side. And let's take a look at something else we're following, and that's I-24 at Waldron Road. Should make that drive in from Rutherford County this morning. Doing just okay. Not great, but okay. But you may not feel that way after you get finished looking at these drive times. Here we are, 67 minutes coming in from Clarksville. Fully an hour and a half at this point coming in from Murfreesboro. 40 minutes coming down from Hendersonville.
We have continuing coverage this Thursday morning of a pro-Palestine rally held at Nashville Centennial Park yesterday. And listen, this is just one of nationwide protests going on regarding the ongoing war in Gaza.
You know, and understandably, there were a lot of concerns about, whether this in Nashville would get out of hand. Thankfully, it did not. Demonstrators marching from Centennial Park to Vanderbilt's campus. This march ended peacefully, and Vanderbilt University administration told Fox 17 News the pro-Palestine encampment that is still on the campus of Vanderbilt University right now has also been peaceful so far.
We're also following politics because happening today, the Metro Election Commission is holding a special hearing to decide if Democratic Representative Justin Jones is going to appear on the August primary ballot.
Now, Justin Jones, you may recognize his name. He was one of the so-called Nashville Three, one who was expelled from the legislature after leading protests on the House floor. He was then reinstated. Well, now he's up for re-election, and he has to get 25 signatures in order to qualify in the primary, like anybody else would. Well, he got 26, but one of those signatures was ruled out because the person who signed it doesn't even live in Jones's district. And then there are 10 other signatures that are also in question right now. So after the hearing today, commissioners will vote on whether Jones's qualifying petition is a go or not. We do know that he is running against Republican Laura Nelson for that seat.
We have new information this morning about Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell's first budget proposal. We're going to tell you how he's planning to spend the $3.2 billion over the next year.
And this morning, 7:07 is your time right now. Live look from Nashville. Top left is the skyline, looking good weather-wise right now. How's that going to hold up? Can you get in your afternoon or evening activities? What about the Morgan Wallen?
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Home Buyers.
7:09 is the time. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell has proposed a $3.2 billion budget for the city of Nashville. Now, this is his very first budget as the mayor of the city. It does include a raise for city employees, as well as a brand new minimum wage for those who work for the city. They're going to make at least $20 an hour if you work for the city of Nashville. Now, the mayor already knows, despite what he does and whatever else is in this budget, including $18 million for new textbooks for metro schools, not everybody is going to be happy.
We're also recognizing the many pressures impacting the upcoming fiscal year, tightening our belt just a little, allowing us to be stewards of both public trust and public dollars. And with your help, we know we're also still advancing other key priorities like immigration legal services and eviction counsel. As you're aware, many of the city's key initiatives this year fall outside the operating budget, and we appreciate the work we've done together on the East Bank, and I'm excited about the conversation ahead on our proposed transportation improvement program.
Now, keep in mind, 38% of this $3.2 billion will be going towards education. The budget still needs to be approved by the city council, and they have until the end of June to do that. Well, we are still several months away from the start of the college football season, but it's already a sold-out event for the Tennessee Volunteers up on Rocky Top. All 70,500 seats are gone for season tickets. Now, this is the second straight year they've sold out season tickets even before the summer has begun. The Tennessee Volunteers actually led all of the SEC in total home attendance last year. This is ranked third in the nation in that particular category. By the way, the Vols do open up the season August 31st, taking on UT Chattanooga.
And coming up next in your forecast, we've got sunshine right now. Temperatures climbing well into the 80s, but I am tracking and timing out weekend thunderstorms.
Steer clear traffic out there at I-24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway. As you can see there in Antioch, things are crawling along. We're going to give you the latest drive times because it's a long one coming in from Antioch. This is a live look at the campus of UCLA. Forgive us as the camera tries to reboot there, but we've seen a lot of activity there as the police department there, to be exact, the California Highway Patrol has been on scene. They brought in buses, we understand, to take away some of the people arrested after a protest there on campus overnight. Authorities moving in to start to take people away. According to the local station there in Los Angeles, fire extinguishers have been used to blow up. They've exploded them, and that's some of the white clouds that we've seen out there. We'll continue to bring you the very latest, not just with this protest, but others around the country as Fox 17 News this morning continues on. Plus, a moving target. We're going to tell you how the winds of
you hungry. Crystal open late night. Love each other. Let's all dance with each other. Let's all celebrate that Crystal is open late night.
We played two pretty good games in Nashville, but it doesn't really matter, right? We didn't get the win, so we knew nothing's going to be given to us. We gotta step up.
All right, time to step up at home, Preds.
Step up.
Step it up. Preds are coming back to Smashville tomorrow night. We've got a matchup as they stay alive in the playoffs. Head coach Andrew Burnett says he really thinks things are getting better here, but they've got to be able to put it all together. I mean, you can have individual pieces that are firing, but if you're not firing all at once on all cylinders, We're going to struggle. So, fingers crossed. Can you cross the fingers?
Fingers crossed.
Fang
you can't
fingers
see
crossed.
it, but I'm doing it. But we always want to know what you all think about this. Do you think the Preds are going to win on Friday, forcing a Game 7? We sure hope so. As of right now, 59.9% of you all say yes. You're staying positive, and we do like that positivity. Of course, we'll be keeping up with all the action.
Right now, 7:15. We're going to get to some weather headlines tracking what could be a significant shift in severe weather.
And listen, April is traditionally the most active month of the year when it comes to tornadoes in our area. But as Fox 17 News' Brett Luna shows us, our meteorologist, that may be changing.
Well, historically speaking, March, April, and May are the most active tornado months right here in Middle Tennessee, and April is the most active of them all. This is data from 1811 to 2023. In March, we've had 166 total tornadoes, 213 tornadoes in April, and 173 in May. So usually it's the springtime that we're the most active, and then we start to slow down as we go into the summer and in the winter months. In fact, the deadliest tornado outbreak that we've had here in Middle Tennessee, that was in April, April 29th, 1909, 115 years ago. 12 tornadoes that day, 62 deaths, 200 injuries with that as well. But things this year really aren't shaping up how we kind of expect. In fact, the National Weather Service office here in Nashville hasn't issued a single tornado warning so far this year. The last tornado warning that they issued, that was last December. Interestingly enough, over the past 12 years, so from 2012 to right now, December is leading the charge as the most active tornado month. We've had 35 tornadoes in the month of December, 35 in December over the past 12 years. So December is in first place, and you might remember those December 9th tornadoes that we had last year. That was a long day. We had 7 tornadoes that day. Unfortunately, caused a lot of destruction across Middle Tennessee. And for April, it's now fallen to the 8th spot with only 10 tornadoes reported in the past 12 years.
Right now, though, we're going to check in with our Code Red meteorologist on the morning show, Greg.
Yes.
Hi.
So, would you rather have a Predators forecast, a Morgan Wallen forecast, a Nashville SC forecast? We got a lot of stuff going on.
I want the Morgan Wallen forecast because that is at Nissan. It's outside.
That it
a
is.
lot of folks are going to be there.
Button click. Yeah, why not? I got all 3 days queued up for you here. So we'll take a look at what's going to happen.
Look at that.
Tonight,
he's a man who delivers.
Tomorrow and then also on Saturday. Each day a little bit different. Today is honestly the best day to be out at Nissan Stadium. The hottest one, 86 degrees at 6 p.m. We go to 78 degrees at 8 p.m. and then 74 at 10. And then very similar temperatures for Friday and Saturday. We drop back a little bit here day by day when it comes to afternoon highs, but the evenings both start around 75 at 6 o'clock. However, the best chance for some thunderstorms during concert time, which we know thunder and lightning, they go to the protocols, they pull you out of the stands, the whole 9 yards, unfortunately looks to be tomorrow during concert time. Cannot rule out a shower or storm on Saturday, but it's much less likely during those hours. Might have a little rain, but the best storm chance is going to be Friday of all 3 days that he'll be taking the stage. Taking a look at 90-degree averages and records. Okay, so for Nashville, the first time that we hit 90 degrees on average, meaning we take all the records going back into the 1800s and just put together a list and find that date that hits right in the middle, May 27th. The earliest it's ever happened is April 25th. So at least we didn't have to deal with that. But the latest that we've hit 90 degrees for the first time in the year, July 5th. So we're kind of all over the board, but typically it's a little bit later in the month than what we're seeing right now. Future track, just a couple clouds late in the day today. Overnight tonight, a few pop-up showers, a few weak thunderstorms. Nothing that we have to really worry about when it comes to severe weather, but it will be a little inconvenient for the first couple hours of tomorrow morning for your drive. We'll get a little break here early afternoon, a little more on the dry side, but then late afternoon for your Friday, the pop-up showers and storms. Like I mentioned, think about that timeline we just said. 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock out at Nissan Stadium, there will be action on the radar. Hopefully it moves out quickly enough, but employ a rain plan when it comes to the gear you're taking no matter where you're going, and also make sure that if you're going to be at Nissan Stadium, you follow their clear bag policy and don't take an umbrella with you. You're not getting in with one.
Steer clear traffic on I-24. This is at Waldron Road. As you make that drive in from Rutherford County this morning, you can see traffic there is moving. However, we are running into some delays as you make that drive in from Rutherford County this morning. We've just received word of a possible crash at I-24, very close to 840. Have not seen it on our cameras yet, but that would not be too far away from this area. We'll continue to check into that and see what comes up. We do have our overall drive times, though. 33 minutes in from Franklin, still an hour and 25 minutes in from Murfreesboro, 44 coming from Hendersonville.
Justin, thank you. 7:20 is the time right now. A live look from the protest happening across the country. This is a live look from UCLA, where police in riot gear have been doing their best to hold the line and get demonstrators off the campus. We're monitoring these live breaking news developments for you.
I'm Fox 17 Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan. If you're new to Nashville, listen up. We're talking all things.
The Seeds Are Family Planet became a place where love continues to grow. Plan your trip today and stay at one of our incredible resorts.
Dollywood, love every moment.
We have breaking news and continuous live looks this Thursday morning right here on Fox 17 News of the hundreds of pro-Palestinian protesters on the campus of UCLA over in California. This comes despite police ordering them to leave. Bear with us because this is a live look and the camera is constantly shifting, but we're showing you what's happening again on the campus of UCLA over in California, where protesters have been setting off fire extinguishers, causing some of the clouds of white smoke that we showed you earlier this morning. There are lots of different units, from the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department to special teams that are coming out there. They even had a bus out there a couple of minutes ago that were getting some of those protesters loaded up, and they were going to be under arrest. Now you can see some of the officers set up here. They're in full riot gear. We told you about 5 o'clock this morning, they were out there trying to calm down the scene, a lot going on. CNN also reporting that protesters were told over a loudspeaker to leave late last night, but as you can tell, they didn't listen to that message.
Erica, thank you for that update. 7:24 right now, back here at home. Local for you, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office is investigating a deadly house fire.
Now, according to Smoky Barn News, it happened back on Highway 31. This is very close to Highland Road on Tuesday. We're told that one man died in this fire. The Portland and Highland Fire Departments initially responded to the call, but Smoky Barn News says that the Cross Plains as well as the Orlinda Fire Department also came out there to respond as well because of the limited number of the limited amount of water that they have out there in that particular part of the county to fight the fire. Of course, the whole thing is under investigation.
Operation Crime and Justice right now. 2 Murfreesboro men sentenced to more than 10 years in prison in connection with a conspiracy to ship meth to Australia and New Zealand. Stephen Weaver and Jamie Woods found to have shipped multiple packages in cake mix boxes.
Yeah.
And all of those packages were identified as a birthday gift when they shipped it. Well, obviously, it's not at all what it was, according to investigators. They had surveillance video of Weaver and Woods buying, as they put it, copious amounts of cake mix boxes from Walmart. To then put the meth in them to ship them.
It's cake mix or meth. You know, that's what we're talking about now. And again, they were going to ship them out of the country. So we're talking about some serious federal crimes here in this particular case.
7:26 your time. Taking a look here at a lot of things that are happening across all of Middle Tennessee here for this weekend. We're going to break down just a few of them. I mean, the list goes on and on, but one of the biggest ones, of course, the Preds taking the ice on Friday, 6 o'clock puck drop, 82 degrees high temperature. There'll be a few isolated storms that are rolling through downtown leading up to the start of the game. Keep that in mind. If you're not going inside Bridgestone Arena and you're going to be outside, you want to have some way to stay dry because there will be showers and storms, very hit and miss moving through around that time. Same for Nashville SC on Saturday. Now, this time frame here and the amount of rain that we're going to see looking to be lessened when it comes to a thunder potential, but it will still be there. Temperatures holding steadily at 78 degrees and then 73 at 9 p.m. If you're going to the game and you see a lot of Jedi robes, do not be freaked out. It is Star Wars Day and they're encouraging costumes that fit the guidelines. Keep that in mind. As far as everything goes and tracking all the rain, well, you can on the Fox 17 Code Red weather app. And coming up as we go into our 7:30 half hour, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Kentucky Derby on Saturday if you're heading up to Kentucky.
party up there. All right, thank you, Greg. 727, here's a quick look at I-24 Waldron Road. This is in Rutherford County. As you make that drive into town this morning, we are seeing slow traffic there. We've seen it throughout the morning. We're talking about an hour and 25 minutes or so from the Murfreesboro area into downtown Nashville, so it's going to be a bit of a crawl for you no matter which way you're coming. Speaking of crawl, this is 65 at 24, crawling down from the north side. We're going to have the very latest drive times, but no major accidents so far holding you up.
At 7:27, our Fox 17 News investigator Amanda Chin is going to join us in studio in moments with a mother's story of how her son came home with a concussion and they were never notified of what happened.
Coming up, hear from a delivery driver who says he was shot at after trying to deliver a pizza.
I do what I do. You treat us like a person and not just another claim.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by the Rocky McElhaney Law Firm. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
The heat is on. Sunshine right now. Temps already climbing. We're going to be up near 90 degrees this afternoon. That could break a record that is over 100 years old. And then we're back to storm cell track for the weekend.
Steer clear traffic gets us to I-65 at 24 on the north side. We're going to tell you why we are crawling and what you can do about it.
Thank you so much for joining us here on a Thursday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m.
We are going to get started with some new updates because the family of a pizza delivery driver who says he was shot at 7 times earlier this week for being in the wrong driveway is now asking for harsher penalties.
Now, we've got our Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar live from where this all happened. Karen, get us up to speed. How's the delivery driver doing? What do we know could be happening next?
Caden Wheeler, the delivery driver, is still shaken from the whole experience, and he tells me that earlier this week he was trying to deliver a pizza, pulled into the wrong driveway, which is right there behind me, and he was supposed to deliver that pizza to the house right next to it, and moments after getting back in its truck, that's when he says he was shot at 7 times. The suspect, Ryan Babcock, was arrested and is charged with aggravated assault. We checked records, and it matches the address Wheeler says he was at on Poole Street. Wheeler tells me the shooting happened around 8 p.m. on Monday. He says if the gunshot that hit his window was only a couple inches down, it would have hit his head and killed him. He doesn't think the charge should be aggravated assault, but attempted murder.
I thought he probably would have saw me in my uniform during his ring camera, but I guess not. But like I said, I understand protecting wise, but I mean, he didn't give me no warning. He didn't get a warning shot. Nothing. Just straight up and fired on me. So that's why I don't agree with it.
The family is currently talking to the DA's office to pursue harsher penalties against the suspect. They also tell me that after the incident, they have to pay for Caden Wheeler's car, and they're trying to gather up the money to do that. So they set up a GoFundMe last night. Reporting live in Ashland City, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Waking up this morning, temperatures climbing. We'll talk about record highs later on this afternoon that are very likely in many areas. Now, we're not guaranteed to do it, but if we hit 90 degrees, we're going to talk about it for the first time on May 2nd since 1901. Rain returns late tonight into tomorrow. An unsettled pattern begins that will carry us into the weekend and out of the upcoming weekend. Keep that in mind. A look right now, though, our Metro Center camera. The sun is up. It's doing its job. It's going to be very hot, a little bit muggy later on this afternoon as well. You'll notice the humidity after about lunchtime. Temperatures right now climbing back into the 60s. We're at 64 in Nashville. Right side of your screen, current temps will be up there for you all the way through 9 o'clock, even during commercial breaks. Let's talk about today. That was today. Sunshine and a couple of clouds. That's it. Overnight tonight, a few isolated showers and weak thunderstorms that will take us into your Friday morning and afternoon. The hit and miss variety where not everyone's raining at once. And it doesn't last all that long when these pockets move in, but you'll get a couple rounds of it each day through the upcoming weekend. 89 today and then lower 80s into the weekend.
Steer clear traffic, brand new crash we just picked up a short time ago, and it's a doozy. This one's on I-24 at Harding Place as you make that drive in from Antioch. You can see TDOT there on the scene now trying to kick that debris out of the road right there, trying to make sure that they can reopen a couple of lanes of traffic, because right now it's just a no-go there. You can see them throwing that debris over in the grass. You ever driving along and see the debris in the grass, wonder, well, how did that get there? This is how. Like literally, this is what they do now to try to clear the lanes. One car involved in that crash there, another car involved off the road there. So this is going to be with us for a little while. Let me show you where it is on our maps. Here's I-24 as you make that drive towards Harding Place right here. This is the same exit you would use for the Sam's Club or the South Precinct or the Animal Control Center. It's all over in that area. You want to try to use Murfreesboro Pike to steer clear if you want, but you can see it too's got its fair share of problems.
Justin, thank you. 7:35 right now. And this morning, in Fox 17 News Investigates, a Metro Schools mom not happy with her child's elementary school, saying that the school never communicated a serious injury regarding her son.
Fox 17 News' investigative reporter Amanda Chin sat down with the mother, and now, Amanda, you're sharing her story.
Well, good morning, Jen and Erica. Loved ones send their children to school trusting teachers and staff will keep them safe. And there's another level of trust in special education classrooms. But this mother's faith in the school quickly diminished after an incident last October. Shanika Sherrill picked up her son from Greenbrier Elementary School thinking everything was okay. Her son Jace has autism and is non-speaking. Now, time passed and Shanika noticed a mark on Jace's face, so she asked the school what happened. At first, the school said he wasn't hit. The doctor then told this mother Jace had a concussion, which led Shanika asking the school to immediately investigate what had actually happened.
The principal responded and told me she would do an investigation, and she did. And in her investigation, she found out that Jace was assaulted by another student. He was kicked in the head by another student. And she told me basically the staff members that were there did not know they had to report it.
Okay, Amanda, what is Metro Schools' response to this? What is the mother telling you?
Yeah, so since this is a pending litigation, a spokesperson for Metro Schools tells me they cannot comment on this specific case. But coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, you'll see my full story and hear more about why this mother actually wanted to share her story, hoping to see some change at the district.
Thank you, Amanda. At 7:37 right now, we continue to monitor the live breaking news updates at college campuses across the country that have been shut down due to protests. You're looking at a live shot from LA right now, where police are handcuffing and taking out demonstrators that turned to violence at UCLA. More live updates in minutes.
And Fox 17 News, of course.
Each other. Let's all dance with each other. Let's all celebrate that Crystal is open late night.
Injured, hire the largest injury firm in the world. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
As we continue showing you live looks over at UCLA, we're continuing to follow more breaking news updates from New York City, because now the mayor is defending the NYPD's actions to arrest protesters over at Columbia University. We do also know that about 300 arrests were made Tuesday night at the university, Columbia University, and the nearby City College. Mayor Eric Adams says he is pushing back against attempts to radicalize young people in New York. Listen.
This is a global problem. That young people are being influenced by those who are professionals at radicalizing our children. And I'm not going to allow that to happen as the mayor of the city of New York.
Mayor Adams is also a former NYPD captain. He went on to say, "My uncle died defending this country, and these men and women put their lives on the line, and it's despicable that schools will allow another country's flag to fly in our country." We'll continue taking looks across the country throughout 9 a.m.
7:41, the father of the Grammy award-winning artist Mandisa, who of course died last month here in Middle Tennessee, is now pushing back against rumors surrounding his daughter's death.
Yeah, according to a new report from Fox News, John Hundley, Mandisa's dad, says that there have been no signs of self-harm amid her death investigation. Now, Mandisa had previously been very open publicly about her struggle with depression, which after her death sparked some concern. Let's get a check of the forecast now. Greg stepped out for a moment, but left us the Cliff Notes version. This is your golf forecast for Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. If you're going to hit the links today, going to be a warm one to do it. We've got
for
the drive. And it's on the green.
Will get her to the green.
Tee
Not
times,
quite to the hole, though.
Yeah, tee times today. If you got one around 9 o'clock this morning, looking good. Sunny, 71. Going to really warm up, though, by this afternoon. Look at that. Maybe by the time you're finishing up your 18 holes, 3 o'clock, 87 degrees. We'll check with Greg and a deeper dive of your forecast in just a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic at 742. Quick look outside here at I-24 Harding Place. An ambulance has arrived. So has the fire department. They are dealing with the leftovers of a 2-car crash. One of those cars over there off the road onto the tree line there. Again, authorities are with you, shutting down at least 2 lanes of that crash at 24 at Harding. The best way to steer clear is using Murfreesboro Pike or just taking extra time. You're going to need it as you make that drive in. 82 minutes is what we're talking about from Murfreesboro into downtown.
At 7:42, new video of the deadly fight between a bouncer and a patron.
Building 11914 Jim Cummings Highway in Bradeville. Bid live or online Saturday, May 4th at 10 a.m.
See us on the web at compassmontgomery.com.
In Operation Crime and Justice, we are now seeing surveillance video from the deadly altercation between a bouncer and a bar goer. This was back in February.
Yeah, happening right outside of the popular Midtown bar Tin Roof. Our Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Muse joining us live in studio now with what we've learned.
Good morning. There's lots to unpack from yesterday's hearing, but surveillance video, it actually came from Vitaflo right next to Tin Roof, and it all happened right outside of the bar's entryway.
It's the first time Austin Turner's family has seen this video. Prosecutors say that's Turner walking away from Tin Roof back in February with Richard Cornelius right behind him. In the video, you see Cornelius swing at Turner multiple times before the 26-year-old falls to the ground. Cornelius's defense attorney says Turner was aggressive towards him, putting his hands on him first.
Okay, so he's trying to remove Mr. Turner from the bar. Mr. Turner is grabbing him by the shirt and jerking him, and it pulls him into the door frame, injuring his leg.
The bouncer's attorney says this is a case of self-defense. Other security workers say Turner walked out willingly, but they could tell he was intoxicated. Bailey Silcox worked the front door that night and says things escalated.
And Mr. Turner grabs Mr. Cornelius, trying to get him out of his way, like you're not going to keep getting in here.
Silcox and another bouncer admit.
So are you saying that that's appropriate conduct for a security guard?
I'm not saying that at all.
One detective also says he noticed inconsistencies in Cornelius's story.
Did the defendant give you 4 different versions of events during your interview with him?
He did. After interviewing Mr. Cornelius, that I believed everything he was saying up to the point where he gives 4 different statements.
This case is now in the hands of a grand jury to determine if it will move forward.
Yeah, again, now this case is in the hands of a grand jury, and Cornelius faces aggravated assault charges, which could change. We're going to continue to follow this. In studio, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your code red station.
Peyton, thank you. Making headlines this Thursday morning, a Southwest Airlines flight that had to go ahead and land in Nashville says it was because of a smell in the cabin, but they're not saying exactly what the smell was.
Bizarre. And why wouldn't they say the source of the smell, right? The flight started in Baltimore, Washington International. They were going to Denver. They diverted to Nashville to land because of the smell. And the plane had to go out of service because of it. Again, they haven't said. I mean, we could make all kinds of guesses as to what happened, but they haven't said. So here we are, left to wonder. As soon as we find out,
I'm sorry,
we'll be sure to let you know.
There's so many scenarios.
Exactly. Okay, 7:48.
Why won't they say?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, why wouldn't you just say what it is?
Well, because if you're the one who says it, maybe you're the one who committed said smell.
Well,
there's a saying somewhere out there. So, I mean, I think maybe, I don't know.
But would you really land a plane? Would you divert an entire flight for that?
Perhaps.
Jen, I think it depends how bad the smell is. I don't know. Or
we got a lot of
There's
questions.
a lot of digging to do here. Hey, so why not just do an airport forecast? I mean, I figure if we're talking planes, let's just see if we're getting out the door and we're heading over to BNA. What can we expect? Moving here through the rest of today, we have temperatures that will be right near 70 degrees at 9 a.m., 84 degrees at noon, 87 at 3 p.m. Not a problem whatsoever when it comes to air traffic into or out of Nashville because of our weather back home. Just hot. Other than that, we're pretty good. Delays, they've been kind of bouncing back and forth. About an hour ago, we had 19. Now we're back to the single digits. 64 degrees. Always check the big board before you head out, though, because you never know what's happening here. Always check your flight times. You don't want to get stuck on a nice sunny day that could be near record-breaking heat and summer feels, and you're just sitting there at the airport taking a look. We're talking about temperatures across the board in the southeast that are all warm and going to continue to climb to near record territory. What else is climbing? Pollen counts again. We got a little break yesterday. No break until Friday. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we're going to have more pollen that does increase for us day by day. A few showers and storms out there each day as well. Not going to be a washout any day in the forecast. And if we don't hit 90 today, then we're not going to for at least the next week. But if we do, we'll tie a temperature record on May 2nd that was set back in 1901. So uncharacteristically warm regardless later today.
Steer clear traffic takes us over to I-24 at Harding Place. We continue to follow a crash involving two cars and a lot of damage. One car, you may be able to see this white car here sitting right in front of the TDOT truck. That is where the first part of this accident is. And then the second one is off the road entirely, right over here. This is where we've seen people constantly in and off of this of the grassy area dealing with something over there in that car. Ambulance is there on scene, so is the fire department. Let me show you what it's doing back behind it, and it's not pretty. This is going to be I-24 Haywood Lane, about 2 miles away from where this crash took place. You could try Murfreesboro Pike or Nolensville Pike is the best way to steer clear.
In your community, we're also talking about expanded care for people facing mental health crises that has officially begun throughout all of Nashville.
So the idea here is to get people help instead of taking them to jail where it's necessary. And Metro's West Nashville precinct has now kicked off officially that partnership with the Mental Health Co-op. Let's take a look here at all of the folks who got together yesterday to make it official. This partnership basically helps police who are out in the field responding to a situation, helps them by pairing them with mental health workers and giving officers extra training. So this partnership said to provide both intervention, de-escalation, and then access to mental health treatment for the people who are in situations where they're responding.
So to have the resource right here at the precinct is going to actually help us to increase our ability to provide the proper services for those experiencing a behavioral health crisis, because they're going to get the resources faster.
Well, MMPD says the program is now going to operate in all 8 of their precincts across the city.
New this morning, Florida State University confirms a woman from Franklin, Tennessee has died near their campus in a hit and run.
The school confirming that 20-year-old Elizabeth Ellie Sims was killed Monday. They say that she was a sophomore and a member of a local sorority there on the campus. Her sorority releasing a statement on their Facebook page confirming Ellie's death and remembering her infectious smile and her positive presence.
Goodness, that is just so sad. Tallahassee police confirm that they have arrested an 18-year-old in connection to the hit and run death. He is charged with leaving the scene of a deadly crash. Here at home, taking a live look over at Nissan Stadium. Boy, do we have a lot going on in
the Norfolk Tides and 3 giveaways in 1 week, including a Sounds tumbler, Johnny and George tea, and a mini safe. The AAA White Sox come to town at the end of the month for 6 games that include more fun for you, a Hit City hat giveaway and a puzzle giveaway. Plus, there are always fireworks on Fridays and autograph sessions and kids round the bases on Sundays. Tickets start at just $10 for every home game and are available now at NashvilleSounds.com. See you in Hit City.
Maybe it began where the flowers were as wild as their dreams, but the seeds her family planted became a place where love continues to grow. Plan your trip today and stay at one of our incredible resorts.
Dollywood, love every moment.
Well, Well, Morgan Wallen is bringing home his tour tonight over at Nissan Stadium. So a lot of country music fans are going to be packing in this area right here. Keep in mind the parking situation, okay? Because with everything happening over at that stadium, you're not going to be able to easily park as you used to be.
Yeah, that's due to construction for the new one.
Yeah.
Where they've already broken ground. Lots of moving pieces and parts here. By the way, to Erica's point, Nissan Stadium did post online saying no before you go. NDOT giving the warning as well. Expected to be huge crowds, heavy traffic, and backup and delays. And a lot of folks are going to arrive right around rush hour.
Yes.
A couple of hours in advance of that concert.
Well, it's officially graduation season across the mid-state, and so many students are going to be graduating from college this weekend and the following week. Fisk University is celebrating the 150th commencement ceremonies. TSU, UT Martin, students also going to be walking across the stage. So, Greg, weather-wise, as families pack into Middle Tennessee, they try to plan ahead. What can they expect?
Yeah, weekend's going to give us some interesting things here. It's going to come down to day by day. So we'll kind of use the next 3 days with concerts to kind of break down the entire weekend worth of events, because each day is a little bit different. So let's think same time frame each day, 6 p.m., 8 p.m., and 10 p.m. Specifically Nissan Stadium, but this can apply for most of Middle Tennessee. 86 degrees at 6 o'clock tonight. 78 degrees at 8 p.m. and 74 at 10. Not a drop of rain, but families preparing for Friday and Saturday events in the evening. Whether you're not going to the concert, doesn't matter. These are the temperatures and these are the outlooks for storms. A storm is possible at any hour, 6 p.m. through 10 p.m. on Friday. 75 is the temperature at 6, 69 degrees is the temperature at 10. Saturday, 75 at 6, 68 degrees at 10. Very similar temperature profile. However, Saturday's storm chances during those evening hours are smaller, but during the day, all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, there will be some scattered showers and storms on the radar. Our dog of the day, Murphy, sent in by Eric, probably wants the dog walk early today or late today. Look at those eyes, because today is going to be up near 90 degrees during our peak heating of the afternoon.
Steer clear traffic takes us over to I-24 at Harding Place. That's where we are dealing with a crash. A couple of cars involved. One of those cars off the road. Now, the ambulance just left the scene a short time ago. Tow truck is already there. They're making quick work of this because this is causing major backups on I-24, and it's going to affect everybody under the sound of my voice in places like Murfreesboro, Antioch, and the Smyrna and Laverne area. If you're trying to work your way down I-24 into Nashville, that drive time about an hour and 25 minutes right now. Once they're able to tow these cars out of the way, which could take about 20 minutes or so, you should be in much better shape. We've just picked up a new crash near Ashland City Highway on Briley. We'll take you there in our 8 o'clock hour.
It's busy out there. We do want to make sure you're aware of our Mother's Day Mania contest to win some extra money for mom or maybe yourself. Grab your phone right now and scan the QR code on your screen for your chance to win the $100 prepaid debit card. If you get the question right, you could win the $100 daily prize, but also be eligible for a chance to win the weekly $5,000 prize. Again, scan the QR code to get some updates. Also, go to fox17.com. We have all the contest details laid out for you online.
At 7:58 right now, it's strawberry picking time here in Middle Tennessee. And one of the ways that we're celebrating is with the Strawberry Festival in Portland.
Now, if you've never heard about this particular festival, it's about, would you say an hour or so away from Nashville, Portland?
If you get on 65 and just go straight up 65 and then get off the exit, I'd say maybe 40 minutes.
Okay, not too bad. So they do have parking available there, shuttles as well. It's 2 days, 2 May days of the festival. It is set for May 10th and 11th.
I'm going to tell you right now, I've been. You need to go early. Go early, like day one, early, so you can get the best of the best, okay? And new this morning from the Nashville Business Journal, a big development about to shake up Nashville's entertainment industry. When I first saw this posted yesterday, I thought, oh my gosh, North Nashville is about to grow again.
Okay.
This location is called Rock Nashville, and it is meant to give artists a space to rehearse and create stage shows. This is a campus that's offering 13 band and production studios, a full-size stadium rehearsal facility, an amphitheater, and a whole lot more.
Wow, the campus is expected to go ahead and open in the fall of 2025. So, of course, we'll have some more updates when it's opening.
It's not too far from Fontenelle.
Okay.
I'll tell you that. So it's like, yeah, not far from Whites Creek Pike near Fontenelle.
All right. We're going to take a quick look at what's trending after this break. We're going to get started with our 8 o'clock hour, though, right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Coming up, shots were fired in this driveway in Ashland City at a teenager delivering a pizza, according to the driver. Coming up, hear from him and what his family is asking for.
Now on Fox 17 News This Morning, continuing coverage of protests, not only across the country, but right here in Nashville. We're going to bring you up to speed on what protesters are saying.
And a controversial Nashville representative in our legislature wants to be on the ballot to get reelected, but will he be able to get on the ballot? What we're expected to have happen at the Metro Election Commission today.
Sunshine and climbing temperatures, the possibility of a temperature record, and then all emphasis goes back to a pretty active weekend when it comes to showers and storms at all time for you.
Ooh, it's going to be hot. Thank you so much for joining us here on a Thursday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m. And throughout the last, I'd say, hour, we've been learning more details about a wild story that unfolded. The family of a pizza delivery driver who says somebody shot at the driver 7 times this week, apparently because he was in the wrong driveway. And now that delivery driver's family, because this is just a teenager here, they are asking for harsher penalties for the suspect in this case.
Well, Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar is joining us live from where the teenager says all of this happened. And Karen, what is that teenager telling you?
Good morning. Well, that's right. The family is currently talking to the DA's office to pursue harsher penalties for the suspect, Ryan Babcock. He is accused of firing shots at 18-year-old Caden Wheeler. And Wheeler tells me that he was just trying to deliver a pizza and he pulled into this driveway behind me on Poole Street, and unfortunately it was the wrong home. It was supposed to be the one to the left of it. Ryan Babcock is charged with aggravated assault. We check records and it matches the address Wheeler says he was at on Poole Street, as I just mentioned. We are wondering what the motive is, so we've asked for the police report to get Babcock's side. Wheeler tells me the shooting happened around 8 p.m. on Monday. He tells me he delivered the pizza to the correct house, and on the way back to his truck, he was shot at, still in the driveway, the bullet holes piercing through it. Wheeler says he has even temporarily stopped delivering for Domino's now because of how frightening the experience was, and says the charge the suspect was given was just not enough.
I would like it to be attempted murder, just for the fact, like the bullet almost hit my head, and I got shot 7 times. If it was a warning shot, like that would obviously be different. But I mean, the bullet almost hit my head, so yeah. I would like to see it attempted murder.
We're working to find out from the DA's office if they, in fact, are going to try to pursue harsher penalties for the suspect. In the meantime, as you just saw, the truck did sustain damage, so the family has set up a GoFundMe page to help pay for that. Reporting live in Ashland City, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
8:03, looking at our forecast here this morning. We're already in the 60s on our way to 89 degrees this afternoon. That's going to stack up real close to a temperature record for this state on the calendar. We're at 68 in Nashville. Before we get to 9 o'clock, we'll already be at 70 degrees. Same with Tullahoma. The Cumberland Plateau not going to make the upper 80s today. We'll talk about lower to middle 80s, but still warm. So here we go. Could this be the first 90 degree day of the year? I've got a forecast high of 89. Could be just that close. The record was set over 120 years ago, back in 1901. And then we set the record just 5 years ago for the most 90-degree days or hotter in a calendar year with 99. I hope we do not have anything close to that again this year. That was a lot of heat. Taking a look here, average first 90-degree day is May 27th. The earliest we've seen our first 90-degree day is April 25th. The latest, July 5th. Kind of puts it in perspective. We're a little bit earlier than we typically would be by about 2.5, 3 weeks. Taking a look, we do know that we have a lot of events. We have the Morgan Wallen concert we'll talk about. We have the Preds taking the ice on Friday. We have Geodis Park being used for Star Wars Day for Nashville SC on Saturday. Plenty of things will work out for you because storms will be in the forecast Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Steer clear Your traffic, 2 crashes to show you this morning. Let's get started at I-24. This is going to be at Harding Place in the Antioch area. Driving in from Antioch, Laverne, Smyrna, making that drive into town. Normally, you would have around 5 lanes to deal with. This morning, you're down to 3. That's because of this crash involving 2 cars, one here and the other one off the road over here. You can use Murfreesboro Pike or Nolensville Pike to steer clear, but keep in mind, they too have got a lot of situations over there. School zones, fast food, lots of stoplights. We're also dealing with this. This is a crash on Briley Parkway, very close to Ashland City Highway. We've gone a full all stop here. I'll take a step out the frame. You can see them trying to clear the debris after a crash in this area. It looks like they're letting 1 lane through now. We'll continue to try to follow this story and many others coming in.
8:05 right now, and continuing coverage of a pro-Palestine rally that happened in the west end of Nashville just yesterday. We had hundreds of people show up in Nashville, but this is part of obviously a nationwide effort on the part of protesters to bring their demands to the forefront.
And they walked from Centennial Park over to Vanderbilt's campus, hundreds coming together for this particular rally, including students and workers. Now, they were asking for a stop to the genocide, in their words. Concerns were raised after some protests turned violent, though, across the country. We've covered that extensively here, giving you live looks over in California at UCLA. But yesterday's march right here in Middle Tennessee on the campus of Vanderbilt ending peacefully. Fox 17 News speaking with some of the protesters out there.
Happening today, the Metro Nashville Election Commission will have a special hearing to decide whether Democratic Representative Justin Jones of Nashville will appear on the August primary ballot. In order to do that, he, like anybody else, would have to get 25 signatures in order to qualify for the primary.
He got 26 signatures. However, one of his signatures has been ruled invalid because the person lives in another district, and 10 others also in question. Now, after the hearing, the commissioners are going to then vote on whether Jones' qualifying petition is solid or not. Jones, a Democrat, is running against Republican Laura Nelson.
At 8:07 right now this morning, we have new details about Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell's first budget proposal. We're going to tell you how he wants to spend more than $3 billion over the next year.
And right now we're showing you some live looks out there. One, you can see the Nashville skyline. The other is a
day and every day. This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by the Rocky McElhaney Law Firm.
8:09 is the time. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell is proposing a $3.2 billion budget. Now, this budget does have a raise for city employees and a brand new $20 minimum wage for anyone working for the city. It also has enough money in it for $18 million for brand new textbooks for Metro schools. Yes, they still use good old-fashioned textbooks, and there's going to cost $18 million for new ones. Now, the mayor says he's ready for a conversation about anything that he left out.
To be clear, as many of you know, this was a challenging budget cycle for many reasons. Our revenues are expected to be nearly the same as last year, so our spending will be nearly the same as well. This means we can't accomplish everything we want in a single year, but we do some important things. We are investing in our people. We're still going to have among the best paid teachers and the best paid police in the state of Tennessee. We're investing in key services and programs like the Barnes Fund so we can simultaneously improve customer service and make it just a little easier for more Nashvillians to stay here.
Now, the mayor also says he wants to establish a Department of Recycling and Solid Waste, an independent department by itself. Right now, both of those are running under the Water Department. The mayor says that he wants to get this whole thing approved, and the city council will have to do so by the end of June. Well, we are still several months away from the start of the college football season, but things are already looking very, very good up there on Rocky Top, at least as far as the fans are concerned. That's because all 70,500 of the season tickets at Neyland Stadium are gone. Now, this is the second straight year that the Tennessee Vols football team has been able to sell out of their season tickets before the summer even started. The Vols actually led all of the SEC with home attendance last year. That's not surprising. They have the largest stadium in all of the SEC. It's also the third largest in the nation as far as attendance was concerned last year. The Vols do open up August 31st, taking on the Moccasins of UT Chattanooga.
And happening next in your COVID forecast, a big transition from near record heat. And take a look there. Bridgestone Arena, we've got the Preds taking the ice on your Friday. We'll look at that forecast and plan some weekend rain.
Plus, we're taking a look at your steer clear traffic. This is going to be I-24 Harding Place. This is one of 2 crashes we're watching right now. Hopefully they can get it cleared out of the way. We'll give you the latest drive times. Plus, coming up, we're going to be speaking with a contestant.
All right, welcome back. This morning we are talking about Farmer Wants a Wife. Joining us, Megan Lay, one of the beautiful contestants.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show. All right, what was it like?
It was an interesting experience for sure. Very fun. I met a lot of great people. I have a lot of great friends from it. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Now, you were formerly a teacher. You took a year off. Being on a farm is a lot different. Well, maybe not a lot different than being on a farm. You got to really do a lot of work here.
Yes, it was fun. I grew up riding horses, so I was used to it. I have a bunch of friends out in Fairview, Tennessee, who have ranches, so it wasn't so new to me. But I mean, living on a farm completely is an experience in itself.
So you're saying you were originally from Palm Springs?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk about any kind of culture shock that might have happened both in this, quote unquote farming world, but on this reality show.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the desert, and so we didn't really have farm fields and all this kind of stuff. So Sikeston, Missouri was a small town, and I grew up in a small town, so those were very similar in those aspects where small towns not much around, big cities are like 30 to 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
So, but I loved waking up in the morning, seeing the cows in the field, the horses and all that kind of stuff.
Was this your first time on a reality show?
Yes, first time for
I don't
sure.
ask, because a lot of folks watch reality TV and they wonder how much of this is really true and real. Are you really out there doing the hard work?
Oh yeah, all of it was real. I don't know, there was a part where I was able to drive the side-by-side and wrangle some cows. That was all real, like never done that before. And it was me and no stunt double. So
How funny. All right, so after the whole experience, and by the way, we've had Nashville farmers on Farmer Wants a Wife. Would you consider this for real life? Like settling down on a farm?
Yeah, I loved being on the farm.
Yeah?
I could definitely see it in the future. It's a fun experience, and yeah, I definitely could see it.
All right, giddy up, Megan Lay.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
On that note, 8:16 right now. Greg, well, and Erica know this morning, I was showing them pictures of some cows that got loose near our house, and they were in our front yard. So, Megan, if you're free, later, let's grab the side-by-side and see if we need to wrangle them up.
Definitely, let's do it.
Right.
She's got the boot. She's ready.
I see that.
We're ready to go. Taking a look here what we got ready for later on today across the board. Everyone, no matter what you're doing outside, it's going to be hot. We have temperatures that'll be up near 90. This could be record-breaking temperature for us this afternoon. Tons of sunshine. You want sunscreen, you want sunglasses, and you want the light clothing today for sure. Treat it like a summer day. Showers and storms return tonight. They'll drop the temperatures down for the weekend. I can't guarantee you a single hour of your Friday, Saturday, or Sunday that is guaranteed to be dry. That is the weather pattern that we're working into, just to be completely honest. There are going to be rounds of these little pop-up showers and storms that will keep us active throughout the entire weekend. That being said, it's not a washout. They're just going to be hit and miss, but they do flare and then fizzle throughout that entire 3-day span. You can see how slow this is moving. This is our next weather maker. It is not moving quickly at all. It's going to get stuck over us and try to get moving. Imagine that you're at the railroad tracks and you're stopped and the lights are flashing. You're in the car and you see each train car moving about 3 miles an hour across. That's kind of how the showers are going to look. Take a look here. It's going to be a little bit of an annoying weekend. 7 p.m., nothing happening yet. Overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Yeah, showers begin to move in. 1 o'clock goes to 7 a.m. I'm tracking actively as we're waking up tomorrow morning and even into the afternoon with a few showers and storms. Also want to mention no severe weather. So whatever we do have that comes down, you could get a decent downpour and a few collapses of some thunder and lightning. 10 a.m. on Saturday, not a whole lot happening then. I do believe that the first half of Saturday looks better than the end of it. 3-day concert event. Morgan Wallen taking over Nissan Stadium today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Today, do not worry about rain, just the heat. However, there is a shower and storm threat during the concert on Friday and Saturday. If you've got tickets, keep that in mind.
Steer clear traffic at 8:18. Let's take a quick look outside here at I-24 at Harding Place. We are still dealing with the leftovers of a two-car crash here. Looks like the tow truck on the scene is going to get both cars there. We've got one car loaded up here, another car loaded up back here. They're trying to clear this as quickly as possible because it's causing big delays coming in. You want to use Murfreesboro Pike or Nolensville Pike as the best way to steer clear from that. Also dealing with a big crash here on Bradley Parkway near Ashland City Highway. This is over in West Nashville. We have got all the vehicles involved lined up on the shoulder of the road. It is shutting down at least one lane, causing big delays coming around towards the West Nashville area. Not a good way to steer clear. You want to give yourself an extra 10 to 15 minutes. As I've mentioned with Bradley Parkway sometimes, there's a reason why they built the Bradley Parkway area. There's not a lot of ways to get around it. So you want to give yourself extra time to get through it.
Well, happening next, Fox 17 News showing you some more live looks across the country for those who are protesting, including looks over at UCLA. Here's a live look right here. Lots of officers on the campus.
I'm Fox 17 Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan. If you're new to Nashville, listen up. We're talking all defense when severe weather threatens. Warning you up to 3 days in advance.
So, when we call a code red weather alert,
No, we're providing you with the information needed to prepare and stay safe.
My name is Tim Leith. I was sitting at a red light. Out of nowhere, I just got rear-ended. I reached out to Morgan & Morgan directly from the scene. It was incredibly simple to get the process started. I never actually had to physically set foot into Morgan & Morgan. You can literally do everything from your cell phone. I was able to get emails, text messages. Morgan & Morgan got my initial offer 10x'd. And I never even got a check. I just got a direct deposit into my bank account. It's so easy.
We have some breaking news this Thursday morning. Country singer John Rich says that he will play a free concert for a group of University of North Carolina students who protected the American flag. Now, this story is going viral, and here's what happened. Now, look at your screen. Here's the photo. This group of students say they replaced a Palestinian flag raised by protesters with the American flag. Students say that they held the American flag off the ground as protesters threw bottles and rocks and screamed profanities at them. Now, country singer John Rich, take a look here at your screen for this tweet, says he's working on a date for a massive event to thank those students. There is also now a GoFundMe page in support of those students, and currently it has raised more than $360,000. We also have some more breaking news updates from Business Insider that says a second Boeing whistleblower has died suddenly at the age of 44. They say that Joshua Dean was a quality auditor over at Spirit Aerosystems and was fired in 2023 after raising concerns about the firm's manufacturing plant over in Wichita. Spirit manufactured the door plug that blew out midair on Alaska Airlines flight back in January. Well, in March, another Boeing whistleblower died in Charleston, South Carolina from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Lots happening there. We'll continue to follow that story, of course. We're also developing right now. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office is investigating a deadly house fire.
Yeah, according to Smoky Bar News, it happened on Highway 31 West over near Highland Road Tuesday. We're told one man died in the fire. The Portland and Highland fire departments initially showed up, but Smoky Bar News says that the Cross Plains and Orlinda fire departments had to get the call in because of limited water access. The cause of the fire is still under investigation here on this Thursday morning.
Operation Crime and Justice takes us down to Murfreesboro. That's where two men were sentenced to more than 10 years in prison in connection with a conspiracy to ship meth to Australia as well as New Zealand. Now listen to the wild details of this story.
Yes, Stephen Weaver and Jamie Woods found to have shipped all of these packages of meth in cake mix boxes. And then the parcels were labeled as a birthday gift, according to investigators.
Yeah, but it was meth, just to be clear. Meth. There's video of the entire thing going down. Weaver and Woods going in and buying lots and lots and lots of boxes of cake mix from Walmart, then later on packing them apparently with meth.
All right, 8:25 right now. Let's pivot.
and go talk the weather with Greg.
Oh, well, they'll be doing some pivoting on the ice, too, back and forth on Friday. So there we go. Let's take a look at Bridgestone Arena, where the Preds are going to have their puck drop at 6 o'clock on Friday, Game 6. If they win, they tie it up, and they take it back to Vancouver. 82 degrees will be our high temperature that day. I want to stress that if you're going to be indoors, obviously for the game, you're going to be fine, but there will be some showers and storms that move through leading up to puck drop. So if you're not going to be in Bridgestone Arena or inside in general, watch the radar closely. You don't want to get stuck in a shower or weak thunderstorm. Now, I stress weak, but there will be out there, and same with Nashville SC on Saturday. It's Star Wars Day out there for the first time. They're encouraging costumes, so if you have tickets and have no idea what's going on when you walk in, don't be caught off guard. 78 degrees at 7 o'clock, 75 at 8, and 73 at 9 p.m. A few isolated showers and storms are going to be on the radar, not necessarily a guarantee that they're over Geodis directly, but it's a possibility. We're planning for rain here almost every hour of the weekend because we don't know exactly when those showers and storms are going to fire. They're the hit and miss variety. Also, the Kentucky Derby on Saturday. If you're going north up to Kentucky, 72 degrees at noon, 78 at 3 p.m., and then 6 o'clock, right when the race takes place, 79 degrees. They will also be contending with hit and miss showers and storms.
Steer clear traffic out there. Let's take a good look at what we're dealing with on I-24 at Harding Place. We were dealing with a two-car crash here in this area a short time ago. They made quick work of that. They've gotten both of those cars out of there. All lanes of 24 are now reopened. The same cannot be said for Bradley Parkway at Ashland City Highway. This is in the west side of town. Still dealing with one lane shut down there after multiple cars involved with the crash. Give yourself another 10 to 15 minutes to get around this because there's not a real good way to steer clear. Look at that. We've got some motorcycle action going on there. A lot of bikers coming through that area in West Nashville. So you had to wait in line with everybody else on steer clear traffic. And we're live and local with you through 9.
New video this morning of the deadly fight between a bouncer and a customer at Tin Roof in Nashville. Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Hughes breaking down the newest information.
Thank you for waking up with us right here on Fox 17 News each and every morning. We're your only live and local station with your traffic and weather.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Alive Hospice. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Waking up this morning to sunshine and 70 degrees within the next half hour, up to 90 this afternoon. If you like the summer heat, this is the last day because storms take back over for the weekend.
New crash to show you I-24. That's at Bell Road coming in from Antioch. We just got finished with one at Harding, a few miles from here. We'll tell you more about this one.
Very busy. Thank you so much for joining us here on a Thursday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're your live local news source through 9 a.m. And this half hour, we begin with the updates we've been gathering regarding the pizza delivery driver who says somebody shot at him 7 times this week while he was delivering pizza. He says he was in the wrong driveway. And now that delivery driver's family is demanding answers when it comes to penalties for the suspect.
Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar is joining us live over in Ashland City where this happened, and she had the opportunity to speak with a teenager.
Good morning. The pizza delivery driver, Caden Wheeler, tells me that he was trying to deliver a Domino's pizza when he pulled up into this driveway behind me here on Poole Street, and it was the wrong driveway. He says that he made his way halfway up this driveway, didn't knock on the door, and he realized it was the wrong home. So what he did was he walked over to this home to my left here, delivered the pizza to the correct home, and then walked his way back to the same driveway where his truck was parked. And he says once inside his truck, that's when the suspect, Ryan Babcock, came out, pulled a gun on him, and fired 7 shots. The suspect, Ryan Babcock, is charged with aggravated assault. He was booked earlier this week. And after he was booked, we are trying to figure out if we can get access to that police report because we want to hear Mr. Babcock's side. We're curious what possibly the motive could be. Wheeler says after he jumped in his truck and was shot at in the driveway that he is still shaken up from the whole experience. Wheeler wants more to be done after Babcock's arrest.
I thought he probably would have saw me in my uniform during his ring camera, but I guess not. But like I said, I understand protecting wise, but I mean, he didn't give me no warning. He didn't get a warning shot. Nothing. Just straight up and fired on me. So that's why I don't agree with it.
He tells me because of the terrible experience, he's going to temporarily stop delivering for Domino's. And his family tells me that they are currently talking to the DA's office to pursue harsher penalties for the suspect. Reporting live in Ashland City, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
8:33, taking a look at the forecast. Out the door this morning, no rain gear, just summer. Summer everything. Sunglasses, sundresses, sandals, everything. Also sunscreen. Make sure you have that too. You don't want to end up with a burn, because I know a lot of pools are starting to open up here, and it's very easy to just to think in the back of your mind, oh, well, it's May. We're okay. We're not going to get a sunburn. Wrong. Make sure we're taking that precaution here. Future track through 7 o'clock, nothing happens. Just a few clouds pick up. We could hit near 90 degrees. We're already warming up here, and the sun's only been up for 2 hours. Taking a look, 1 a.m. overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, a far different story. We're not going to have sunshine at this time tomorrow. We're going to have scattered showers and weak thunderstorms that will be on and off. Flare up, fizzle out. Flare up, fizzle out through the entire day of your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can see many pockets of dry air. It's not going to rain all day, but there will be rain on the radar on and off throughout the day from sunup straight through sundown.
Steer clear traffic at I-24 at Bell Road. This is in Antioch. We're dealing with a two-car crash in that area that could slow you up. Now, we were just dealing with a crash that was cutting off lanes. That one was at Harding Place, about 4 miles from here. This crash is not shutting down lanes yet, but it will when authorities get there, and they'll force everybody to move over. At one point, they'll probably even stop traffic and move everything over to the other side where they can better deal with that. So you can try to use Murfreesboro Pike to steer clear once authorities get there. We're still dealing with this crash, Riley Parkway, Ashland City Highway on the west side. You want to give yourself extra time to get past some of the backup that's back behind this as you make your way from Bordeaux to the west side of town.
In Operation Crime and Justice, we are now seeing more surveillance video from a deadly fight between a bouncer and a bar goer. It happened back in February.
Yeah, right outside of the popular Midtown bar Tin Roof. And our reporter, Fox 17 News, Peyton Hughes, has been working on this story, working to piece together a lot of the details for some time now. She joins us live with the latest.
That's right, guys. So lots to unpack from yesterday's hearing, but surveillance video actually came from Vitaflo right next to Tin Roof, and it all happened right outside of the bar's entryway.
It's the first time Austin Turner's family has seen this video. Prosecutors say that's Turner walking away from Tin Roof back in February with Richard Cornelius right behind him. In the video, you see Cornelius swing at Turner multiple times before the 26-year-old falls to the ground. Cornelius's defense attorney says Turner was aggressive towards him, putting his hands on him first.
Okay, so he's trying to remove Mr. Turner from the bar. Mr. Turner is grabbing him by the shirt and jerking him, and it pulls him into the door frame, injuring his leg.
The bouncer's attorney says this is a case of self-defense. Other security workers say Turner walked out willingly, but they could tell he was intoxicated. Bailey Silcox worked the front door that night and says things escalated.
And Mr. Turner grabs Mr. Cornelius, trying to get him out of his way, like you're not going to keep him getting in here.
Silcox and another bouncer admit.
So are you saying that that's appropriate conduct for a security guard?
I'm not saying that at all.
One detective also says he noticed inconsistencies in Cornelius's story.
Did the defendant give you 4 different versions of events during your interview with him?
He did. After interviewing Mr. Cornelius, that I believed everything he was saying up to the point where he gives 4 different statements.
This case is now in the hands of a grand jury to determine if it will move forward.
Cornelius faces aggravated assault charges, which could change, and we'll continue to follow this. Reporting in studio, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Gearing up for Game 6, the key to the Preds keeping their playoff run alive.
Good morning to you on this Thursday. It is May 2nd. A couple different live looks from Nashville. All's quiet on the weather front, but it looks like we might have something that just popped in steer clear traffic. Justin McFarland will join us in minutes to help you steer clear.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
Welcome to the semifinals.
Fox Thursday. Will the Final Four
$250K, baby.
crack under the pressure?
Moment of truth.
All new Next Level Chef. Then the farmers meet the families.
Serious butterflies.
And they're getting grilled.
Do you think Taylor's your soulmate?
It's getting a little warm in here.
Tonight at 7 on Fox 17. Jay Cash the Auctioneer is having a real estate auction Saturday, May 4th at 1 p.m. along York Road, Nolensville, Tennessee. 11 beautiful acres with a 3-bedroom home and 3 additional soil sites. Improved with a barn, outbuildings, and a cabin. Conducted by James R. Cash. Auction style.
Whoa, what happened, Brad?
DIY plumbing fail.
Yikes.
Well, I don't get paid till Friday, so.
Tennessee Quick Cash can now deposit a flex loan directly into your checking account, so you can call a plumber and have the money before they get here.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, you can apply anytime, day or night at tqcflex.com and get the money in minutes.
Well, let's check it out then.
Let's get out of the water first. Yeah. Right there.
Oh.
It's replacement window season. Do you have ugly, hard to open, drafty windows? Now is the best time to buy new Champion windows. Because when you buy 2, you get 2 free. Buy 2 Champion windows, get 2 free? I guess that means if you buy 4, you get 4 free. Buy 6, get 6 free. Buy 10, get 10 free.
Hurry, Champion's Buy 2, Get 2 free sale is for a limited time.
Great job, everybody. Thanks.
Call 888-4CHAMPION or schedule your free in-home estimate online today.
At TJ Maxx, you can afford to turn your closet into a place of endless expression with the quality, styles, and prices you love. Max what makes you, you.
Vacation at home sale at Family Leisure. Check out the largest selection of in-stock patio furniture, cat height to bar height, and everything in between. Great deals on swimming pools, hot deals on outdoor kitchens. Melt away stress. Spas are priced to move. Vacation at home sale going on now at Family Leisure.
Tommy Anderson and Jay Cash, auctioneers and real estate brokers, present the Federick Estate in Franklin, Tennessee. An updated 5-bedroom brick home in a sought-after location backing up to a private lake. Saturday, May 4th, 10 a.m. Conducted by James R. Cash. Auction style.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Ponce Law.
8:40 is the time. The Nashville Predators staying alive on Tuesday, forcing a Game 6 as they are preparing to take on the Vancouver Canucks. But now the series shifts back here to Smashville.
Yeah, really excited to have home ice this go round. Both the Preds and the Canucks have now lost 2 home games each in this series. So
unusual.
Coming back here, and head coach Andrew Burnett says he feels like the team is getting better. They just got to find a way to put it all together here at home tomorrow night.
So we want to know what you think. Do you think the Predators will be able to win Friday night, forcing a Game 7? 60% of you say yes, they will. Another 40% of you said no. Now, this is a bit of a twist from where you folks were a few days ago, where you didn't think they could win the last game up there in Vancouver, but they did it. So if you want to chime in, you can do so, of course, on our X page.
We like the positivity. All right, we like it. 8:41 is the time right now. Did you know that today marks 14 years since the flood of 2010. This was historic rainfall, took so many lives here in Middle Tennessee. It was May 1st and May 2nd where Nashville set an all-time record one-day rainfall with 7.25 inches of rain, a 2-day total of 13.5 inches. What you're looking at is video from that day back in 2010.
Yeah, the Cumberland River just swelled. Every creek, every stream in the city just flooded. Nearly 18 people were killed in that historic flooding. Of course, the Cumberland River swelled to 52 feet.
You know, you think about it now, right? For so many people who are new to Nashville since then, a lot of the iconic buildings that you see in downtown Nashville now were underwater then. The water was all the way up to Bridgestone Arena.
Oh, yeah. I tell people all the time, the water was up to your shins at Bridgestone Arena.
Yeah.
If you can imagine
Just for perspective.
If you can imagine that.
We had homes floating down I-24.
I can talk for the next 20 minutes about it. It was, you know, I was here in 2010 with a few others who are still here at Fox 17. It was
devastating.
Devastating.
Yeah.
Devastating is the right word.
All right. Well, as for the weather, things are looking good for today. Going to track a little bit of storm activity that might pop up for your weekend, but for today, looking great. After school sports, no problem whatsoever. I know we've got district softball, district track and baseball, all those games being played right now. Let's look at after school today. At 87 degrees at 5, down to 76 by 9.
Steer clear traffic. Quickly want to tell you about this crash at 24 Bell Road. Could slow you up once the crews get there. You want to take Murfreesboro Pike. It's the best way to steer clear.
Well, as Fox 17 News continues monitoring protests at college campuses across the country, we're now getting updates from the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. In fact, State Representative William Lamberth was sharing a message on his X account talking about UT students. Their student-run newspaper called the Daily Beacon, tweeting that demonstrators gathered in front of the UT College of Law and were told to go ahead and disperse within 15 minutes or they would be arrested. This all began yesterday afternoon. Those who refused to leave were threatened with felony charges. We're working to get an update on if any arrests were made, but we'll continue updating this story over on fox17.com.
Well, coming up next, Fox 17 News, Amanda Chen.
Home Goods, go finding.
In crisis in the classroom, there is a Metro school mother who is sounding the alarm after she says her son suffered a serious injury at school, but never got any kind of notification.
So the mom took matters into her own hands. Our Fox 17 News investigator Amanda Chen sat down with the mom and has her story.
Good morning, guys. Well, no parent wants their student coming home from school with an injury. If they do get hurt, loved ones expect a call. But in this case, the mom didn't receive anything.
Imagine bringing your child home from school thinking everything was okay, but then hours later noticing a mark on your child's face. That's what Shanika Sherrill experienced after picking her son Jace Middlebrooks up from Greenbrier Elementary in October of last year. Jace has autism and is non-speaking.
He's vibrant, he's energetic, like he's a ball of energy for sure.
Shanika says when she picked Jace up from school, he seemed tired, so she let him take a nap.
I tried to wake him and I couldn't wake him. And when I finally woke him, he was, he was lethargic. The pupils were dilated. I was, rubbing his head. I can feel lumps.
She examined his head more closely and realized something was wrong, so she immediately took him to the doctor.
I emailed the teacher and I was like, hey, did anything happen today? Did Jace fall? Did he hurt himself? She told me nothing happened. He could have nicked his head on the desk or something when he was having an episode.
The doctor told Shanika Jace had a concussion. So what happened? You can imagine Shanika's fear. She emailed the principal asking for an investigation. The answer this time with a completely different tone.
The principal responded and told me she would do an investigation, and she did. And in her investigation, she found out that Jace was assaulted by another student. He was kicked in the head by another student. And she told me basically the staff members that were there did not know they had to report it.
Shanika says the doctor could not pinpoint where the injury came from exactly, although she says Jace has headbanging behaviors. But if Jace was banging his head, she believes the paraprofessionals and teachers should have stopped him from doing that in accordance with his safety plan. The mother says Jace is supposed to have a one-on-one paraprofessional with him 95% of the school day.
How frustrating was that for you, knowing that no one said anything to you? You had to say something first. You had to ask for an investigation. You had to ask for a report to be filed.
It's hurtful. It was hurtful. It scared me. It put fear in my heart, and it also made me want to, just keep my son home.
Jump, JJ.
Shanika says this isn't the first time an incident happened. Last school year, medical records showed Jace had a hemorrhage in his eye. While she received a call, Shanika says a report was never filed. Fox 17 News was able to obtain an email the principal sent to staff, emphasizing expectations when it comes to reporting injuries and communication of injuries. The email says in part, if at any time you see a child physically aggressive with another child, hit, kick, pull hair, etc.,
it must be reported by you directly to the teacher. This is any child.
I feel like they could have communicated better. They could have did a incident report without me asking. They could have called me when the incident happened. They could have given him aid. You know, I trust them to do their job and to report these instances accurately, appropriately, and timely.
We reached out to Metro Nashville schools and asked if there are checks and balances in place to make sure these communication issues are reported and documented in the future. A spokesperson tells us due to pending litigation, the district is unable to comment.
If you were notified the parent to let them know when it happened, we wouldn't be in this position right now.
Jace is now at another school.
Are you happy?
Shanika tells me she had no other choice.
Come on, Way.
And would do anything to protect her son.
Amanda, curious, what was it that motivated the mom to share her story with you?
Yeah, well, I've been working on quite a few stories that involve families who have children in the special education classrooms. They feel like it's even harder for them to have a voice since the children sometimes can't necessarily speak for themselves. So she hopes by speaking out, schools can take a closer look at their policies and procedures for reporting these types of incidents, especially ones that happen in these special education classrooms.
Amanda Chin, thank you so much for sharing her story.
And the #1 CGM prescribed in the U.S. Try it for free at freestylelibre.us.
Greg, take us away.
All right, let's do it. Let's take a look here at Nissan Stadium. There it is. 3 nights in a row. Morgan Wallen today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Tonight, it's going to be hot. It'll be 86 degrees at 6 p.m., but no rain at all. The high today going to be up to 89. If we get one extra degree, we're going to tie a temperature record set over 120 years ago, back in 1901. That's how hot we're going to be. Now, we mentioned two more concerts. Nissan Stadium for Friday and Saturday. There will be a chance for pop-up hit-and-miss showers throughout Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
No, we're providing you with the information needed to prepare and stay safe.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville. In WZTV Nashville. You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville. You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville. You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. We track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance.
Warning you to weather that will impact your life.
Our forecast pinpoint a storm's path, showing when it will hit your neighborhood. That's where we already at. This low pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. We track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance. This low pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Warning you up to 3 days in advance.
So, when we call a Code Red weather alert,
No, we're providing you with the information needed to prepare and stay safe.
you're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.
The Fox 17 Code Red weather app, your first line of defense when severe weather threatens. Download the Fox 17 News Code Red weather app now.
You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville. You're watching Fox 17 WZTV Nashville.